Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a AD2L Season 12 match with my boys, no TP. But why is it like that? It says my boys, but it's Team No TP versus HDYK. How do you kill that which something? Anyway,
that which is not dead. It's a Lovecraft.
Ah, gotcha. Lovecraftian theme. And as you can already tell, I have a co-host with me tonight. I have the lovely and the knowledgeable Fafnir Dota. What's up, Faf?
Not much. They actually tagged this with Season 12. It's actually Season 14.
Okay. Well, I already screwed up that, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it just matters what ticket it's on. It doesn't really matter.
Right. Well, we're seeing Invoker and Sven banned out already. Any surprises there, Fafnir? I know that Sven's been pretty popular as of late. I have not really seen a good one in my pubs yet, but I've heard that he's pretty strong.
I mean, his win rate's higher than Spectre now, which just in pubs, that tells you something about his strength in a macro sense. I think he's really good. Invoker, I don't think is very good, but I know Brado plays quite a bit of Invoker, so when you look at a team like Team No TP, and you see, I think, 4 guys who are like 3K at highest, and most of, I think the other 2 are 2K, and you see 1 4K, you just ban out his favorite heroes. And then the same thing with the Axe ban. Mr. Blue plays a lot of Axe in the offlane. I think they just don't want to deal with it.
Makes sense. You gotta ban out what's popular, especially when a new patch starts. You don't want to have the You want to do your homework more than doing your homework on what's popular in the game in general. So good bands coming out. They're going to start off with Jakiro. Maybe they're probably going for that Jakiro mid build that we're seeing so popular. I think TNC was the one who did it quite a few times today. So maybe they took a hint.
They played it as a support.
Oh, they played it as a support. Who am I thinking
well,
as the...
Waga has done it mid a few times. Some people do it mid. Well, what they were doing with it it would be like a roaming Jakiro to kind of crush whatever lane, and then they just used it as like a focal point to like push towers or split push lanes. And then if they thought they got a good fight out of it, they would like converge on him when he got gone on. Or if it was a bad fight, they let him die, and he was your roaming Jakiro. So who cares? You farm the rest of the map. It was actually really interesting how they played around. It was always 1-4-3-7 on it. So we're not going to see that level of coordination, I don't think, just because, they're not all 7K pros playing at a LAN.
Right.
But I'm interested to see how they'll use it, if they'll actually roam it or if they'll actually just stick it safe lane, because he's a lane winner for sure.
Yes, most definitely. He has a lot of potential of lane winning, and then also on top of that, he's a very good pusher. So it makes sense that in this meta where you're wanting to, if you want to just leave the lane from these harassment type lineups, then you're going to just have someone like a Jakiro be able to, okay, they're going to be forced out, and then we're going to push your tower really well. Whereas if you had someone like Skywrath Mage or something like that, you would just be too focused on harassment, and then you have to rotate out to harass another lane. So it makes a lot of sense, and I hear what you're saying. So they answer with Faceless Void Crystal Maiden. Now Crystal Maiden's very strong. She's just been, she's just a very good hero in general in the last patch, and it's kind of good to go back into those old trends when you don't really know what the new draft is, what the new trends are going to be. And Faceless Void. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really like Faceless Void. I think he still has all the problems that he did in the last patch, where roots cancel out the whole hero. And when you only have a Jakiro already set up, like Jakiro is not that bad to go into an Atos. It doesn't really offer you anything. And then they pick up the Abaddon to really guarantee, okay, you chrono me, I'm still going to live through it.
Well, not only that, if Jakiro's outside the chrono, he ice paths or macro pyres down, and all of a sudden you can't kill that person because you'll die. And if Abaddon's outside, he shields the person, throws out 2 heals, and they probably still don't die. Like, Void's bad against Jakiro, and then he's doubly bad, against Abaddon, which they know picking it up. But yeah, I still think Crystal Maiden will be strong. Like, with the emphasis of jungles, like, before she kind of, like, she had this nice tempo where she took hard camps on the minute respawn, and then she ganked or pressured. But now, like, she has more options. Yeah, you get a little bit less XP, but with double the camps and the fact that she still clears camps just as fast with Frostbite, I still think she's a solid hero. She probably won't. I don't know if she'll be the top pub support or top support, one of the top tier supports, but I still think she'll be solid because she can utilize the jungle and she can even clear stacks with her. Like, it's kind of a greedy play, but it's worth it if you've got a quad stack and you're like, okay, if I don't take this now, they're gonna find it. Like, you can just clear it.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I think that okay. So they answer with a Lich ban versus Team No TP. They already have a lane controller, and they have a Void on their team. Do you think that they're trying to just stop some team fight with banning out the Lich? Because
I mean, is this a safe lane Void? Like, why are you banning out a Lich to protect a Void? I don't get that. Maybe it's offlane still. Like, I don't understand a Lich ban. Troll ban makes some sense. Troll is a good hero to pair with Faceless Void, just because he gives him free damage, and he can also be ranged for him and throw damage into the Chrono as well, if it's an offlane Void. So I like that ban.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like that they're trying to just stop team fight at this point on HDYK. I mean, if you're going to ban a Rubik and a Lich, that screams, okay, we're going to have the superior team fight. We don't want you to counter it in any way. Let's just guarantee that. And I think Team No TP is okay with that. I think that they can push down towers really fast and split push at this point. So, I mean, they did ban out the Troll, where I would have probably picked it up myself in this draft. But it's still a very solid ban, like you were saying before, to go into that. And banning out the Veno, another hero that can just be a nasty core.
I mean,
that does dot damage versus the Void.
Yeah, I mean, if they pick another team fight hero, I think Team No TP just picks up a Silencer and it destroys their lineup. Because Silencer already handles Void and Crystal Maiden, and they have a potential to just set it up so Jakiro is pushing behind Abaddon, throwing the occasional liquid fire. Abaddon hits the tower, and you have a Silencer way in the back protected who just hits R if anything happens, and then the team fight is lost, like done. Like, I don't know how they stop that. That's if they commit another team hero, which when you're going CM Void, you're kind of saying, yeah, we want to go it. That's why I like the Veno ban. Like, Void, Veno's pretty strong in that if you get off of the Nova and the... Oh, man. This is screaming Silencer.
Yeah, it's like you said.
For both teams, honestly. Yeah, Silencer's really good against Abaddon, too.
And you could... I mean, with the new Silencer, I think that he's... I mean, more so than ever, he's pretty good as a core at this point. Especially with, like, the new Ags upgrade. I tried it out the other day, and its potential to do damage in a team fight once you do hit that ultimate is pretty insane. So...
Yeah, and he's a hero that's just wants stats too. He scales so well with stats. He's not a carry who has a pressing need beyond a BKB. Like he needs a BKB to live, and maybe like a force. Silencer. And there it is.
You called it. Makes a lot of sense. Now the thing is do they go? And they have plenty of wiggle room with this pickup too. I mean, you can always go into the safe lane Silencer, like you were saying, going into that more support role. I was thinking more of a mid Silencer, and
I think he's just a better mid. Like, I feel like if you got a safe lane hero, you really need to be able to utilize the jungle in this patch. Mids, it's nice if they can use the jungle, but it's not necessary as long as you get good levels. Oh, man. And they go a Spectre after a Silencer. I don't like Spectre against Silencer at all. Like...
Yeah, they're just really trying to win that team fight, and I don't even think that's last patch. Like, I feel like they're not even realizing what's going on in the patch before. They're kind of just, okay, we have this patch, the last patch, in a comfortable zone. Let's just do what we're comfortable with. And yeah. I don't know if that's really going to work out for them, especially when they're not really considering the other team and what they're countering out. OD is also a great lane dominator, and to be honest, the Dire side have no real lane dominators. Enigma can kind of do that in his lane, but I would much rather have an OD or a roaming Jakiro at this point.
Well, they don't even have anyone who uses CM mana to win like early. Like the hallmark of a CM pit lineup where you first pick it is you pick heroes that win lanes with CM's mana. Void appreciates the mana. Enigma loves the mana. Like, all these three heroes kind of can use mana, but they don't use the mana to do that much. Like Spectre gets an extra dagger, which isn't hugely relevant. Enigma can basically just buy a few less clarities, and Void just doesn't have mana issues at all in the lane phase. Like, it's not until he starts throwing Chrono does his mana become ever an issue, and that's more of like, I need a large amount of mana to cast Chrono. I especially don't like the Spectre picked up, because the way Silencer works, since the cooldowns of their ults are basically the same, at max level 120 to compared to 130, anytime Haunt guts out, you just instantly hit Silence. Spectre can't Haunt in, and even if she builds a Manta, the typical counter to silences for that hero, she has to Manta, then come into the fight, which takes her damage potential down on whatever target she's trying to burst, down almost to a third. The Mantas don't quite do as much damage as the main hero, but it's really close for a long period of the game until she has like a butterfly or something. So, you know, even once you get your third item, Manta, like, you still don't have a solution to the Silencer, and she's not a hero that you want to go early BKB Lotus Orb or Lotus Orb on, but you kind of almost force it this lineup.
Yeah, most definitely. If you're, but you know, they may have a plan on something else. I don't really like what their draft is supposed to be doing at this point, and really, like, Spectre, Faceless, Void kind of counter each other in a certain aspect. I don't really understand.
Yeah, you can orb whoever's in there.
Yeah.
Even if he gets a BKB, you can. Yeah, that's rough. And I'm trying to think of a mid that like kind of brings the lineup together, but that mid has to match against an OD. So I don't know who really does that. I think a Death Prophet might be their best bet, just because they don't have burst damage except for the OD. And while his burst damage is impressive, it actually does have that wind up to it. So another int hero in Death Prophet who doesn't like get insta-jibbed by a OD with just Sanity's Eclipse. Maybe that will help bring it all together.
Maybe. I don't know. But with a Medusa pick there, that's I mean, they do have plenty of people that can pick up a way to destroy that mana, but they're not going to have the good lane presence anyway, because they're going to have Enigma in the jungle to try to take over that potential, and because you have to put the Faceless in some lane, and you're not going to put it mid. That's just like the worst matchup ever, I think, versus an OD.
Well, the only option is it's a safe lane Void, potentially. No, they picked Sniper.
Yeah, and they got a Spectre. So
yeah, I don't like the Medusa pick though. I don't think it's really fits the tempo of their whole team. I don't know. And the Sniper pick I love against Medusa. Like, Medusa hates against Sniper. He just outranges you. You can't close the gap on him. He just planks you from forever away, and like your ult barely bothers him. And even in man fights, like, she just doesn't win a man fight against him because of the headshot. Like, you know, usually she can just exist and out man fight a lot of carries, but Sniper isn't one of them, especially with Hurricane Pike and his superior range. We'll see how this goes. This is very interesting.
They do have to pick something, and they don't want to get up close and personal on a Faceless Void, but they still wanted someone who's tanky. So I actually
like the Sniper pick for them. It's more the Medusa picked. But yeah, the Sniper pick is quite good. Plus, I mean, they just need something that doesn't lose to OD. Like, if you have a Spectre Faceless lanes and you have a jungler, you have to pick a mid who just doesn't lose.
Yeah. Is that taking a while to load in or something?
They had 30 seconds of strategy time.
Ah, right. I always forget that, and I'm always like, man, this is so weird.
Yeah, but I love the strategy time in Captain's Foot. It's so nice.
Oh, most definitely. Oh man, they won right there, Fafnir. That guy has 1,000-some battle points.
Yeah, yeah, he does. And they also has the new Sniper set, the one with the glowing crosshair and the stake gun.
Yeah, it's cool. You gotta make the quacking noises. All right.
Have you seen? Did you see this any of the VP games since they added the ability to hear them do their chat wheel?
I have not.
Oh, it's great. Like when somebody just randomly feeds just crash and burns, crash and burns. They do all these emotes because they know the casters can see them, just mocking their teammate. And they do the same when the enemy team like takes a bad team fight and they just roll them. Like they did it to Alliance, or they just like went from tier 1 to a full lane of Rax by just with a Terror Blade just doing his thing. And then they glimpsed back Secret. It was Secret against. They glimpsed back the ODE because he just went with 1 second left before too early, and then they just like, oh, it was great.
It's really funny that they have these that they have these different things that you can like kind of troll and be funny within the game. I feel like they're gonna get kind of overplayed though after a little while, and I'm gonna start to hate them. I love them right now, but give me another couple months.
Have they even indicated if they're permanent?
I didn't hear it.
Oh no, Yuki. Oh, they didn't aggressively go on him.
Yeah, that...
Okay. He time walks very poorly, but it's a Medusa silencer. They don't actually have like something to catch you. So.
All right, so they're pulling out. It looks like they may have spotted out the sentry up top. Crystal Maiden just got a ward sent to her. She may. Oh, she feels like she's just putting down an observer ward. And...
Yeah. So, what do you think about the dual lane choice?
The dual lane choice at this point, I don't think that that's a good idea, because obviously it's a great idea up top. If you have the dual lanes up top with Jakiro, he's just gonna punish the Spectre, and there's nothing that a Crystal Maiden can out punish a Spectre for. I mean, they're gonna get plenty of farm into the jungle, but that's okay. If your main source of damage, a Spectre, is not gonna get any availability to come back into the game, especially with the changes to her ultimate not being up for 3 minutes after she uses it. It's just, this lane's going to be hell for them.
Yeah, I agree. So you like it to clarify, you like it for the Radiant then?
Yes, most definitely. For the Dire, it's awful, but they have to run it because they went the style strat. You can already tell they are pretty low up top.
Yeah, Spectre doesn't have a last hit.
They also have, well, I mean, it's still pretty early in the game. Obviously, it's gonna change a little bit, but I mean, if your off lane is the highest one on the last hit chart, then that's gonna be pretty awesome for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's only going to get worse as Jakiro gets more levels. Like, they're already tower diving. Look at this.
Yep. Oh, I was watching bottom trying to get some action down there.
Yep, tower diving. CM's going to go down.
CM's going to get knocked down.
They might get a double
doing
kill
a couple
here.
damage there. I don't think they're probably going to be able to go in too much. They do miss the wave, so they're not going to be able to get the second kill. Enigma does rotate in here. She gets a couple right clicks in, stuns out Mr. Blue, but he's going to put up a shield to deny that ability. Okay, then Jakiro just ran into the creeps, died. Frostbite comes out, takes down the Abaddon. The last hit goes to Crystal Maiden with that little bit of snowball. So, good exchange there.
Yeah,
probably too risky.
Yeah, I think that's hugely to the Dire's advantage. They have the losing situation. Yeah, they gave up first blood, but to give all that XP to a Spectre, who you've been just shutting down and denying out, is really a big deal. Yeah, they just went too far, and they missed the Q on the Jakiro. That's the main thing. They probably get a double kill and then both die for it after Spectre's dead, in which case it's completely worth it. But you know, they missed the skill. And that's how it goes in Dota.
Yep. Good rotation, good movement out of the jungle, not just being super ridiculously farm heavy on the Enigma. That happens way too often in a lot of games. So I'm glad to see that he's participating a little bit in this lane. That's what they're going to need to have to win.
Yeah, absolutely. The ability to
here, they're going to take down the Crystal Maiden. That blast comes out, the fire tick down. Sorry, Fab.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I was just going to say, an act of jungler who's willing to protect his safe lane, or even just discourage a dive, is always a big deal in good play.
Most definitely. And not even with those deaths, Mr. Blue is definitely going to be the one with the top last hits on their chart. The Void on the other side only has one last hit in this game so far. So the Silencer's kind of keeping him out. they're trading a lot down here. He may have to go back because he's super low on silencer at this point. Deuce is getting plenty of good farm though, keeping him at bay. Sniper and OD seem to be having a decent time mid. They're kind of trading evenly. So.
Oh man, silencer went for like the old school silencer build before Arcane Curse kind of became changed, and you know I really don't like the level 2 last word unless you need it to secure a kill, which I don't think they did. His Q is such a good harass tool, especially against a hero like Void, who, if you time it well, you force him to Q after the curse is on him. And that means all of a sudden a fairly low damage spell becomes incredibly mana efficient. If you just cast one spell and give it double its duration, it becomes a massively powerful nuke.
Mr. Blue's doing some diving up top, just
yeah,
doing some general harassment, making sure that they stay away from this, getting this farm. I mean, there's only 4 last hits on the Spectre because of this, and it's really only because they died at that one point that she was able to get anything. So, really working out for them at this point. Sniper's starting to get a leg up on this OD. And to be expected, Sniper kind of wins on this matchup, and OD's okay with it because he can always astral himself out if he goes for the ultimate on top of him, but
I don't like, as an OD, I try to bait, whenever I play this matchup, I try to bait the OD into doing that. And unless you're actually behind your tower, all that means is you have a shrapnel placed on top of you, and you take more damage from the shrapnel, probably, than you would from the ult in many situations.
Oh, you have to let it fly, for sure. If you just see the charge up and then you put yourself into it, then yeah, you're 100% dead.
Oh, but even if I don't fake them out and I spend that mana, if I only launch my ultimate if I can get a shrapnel on top of them, so that even if they make the right play, they're still going to eat about 200 magic damage. If that makes sense.
It does. That does make sense.
If you have a shrapnel up, but it's always a balance. So yeah, I think this whole game is going to come down to this enigma. Can he make all this space that they're denying themselves out worth it? Because if you look, so even with the last hits is disastrous for the Spectre and the Faceless Void as they
real
are.
Quick, though, they're diving on that CM on top. They're coming down. Mr. Blue's going to chunk her down, putting up the Photic Shield to take out the Frostbite. Going to get one more last hit in. Takes him down.
Yep. Yeah, they're just diving. This Spectre was acting like her tower protector. Yeah.
And Dual Breath's going to come up in 1 second. He misses the Dual Breath though, dives further in, but Mr. Blue's going to find him. Oh, maybe not. Going to go past the trees, and he's going to dive out to safety. She cut her way deep. Yeah. Yeah,
he's completely safe, and they're caught here. Mr. Blue might be in trouble. He does not have his ult. Sniper's rotated in,
and Sniper's going to pick him up, do 1-2, couple shots here and there. The old man's still back up there, Old Man Mungo. He's trying to find that Spectre, but he's not going to find him because he has no way to cut down these trees. So he's just going to exist back here for a little while. Hopefully wait for the Abaddon, I guess, at this point. And Spectre's kind of doing the same thing, so I guess Crystal Maiden's going to be the farmer in this lane for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you do? Neither has a TP. There's no TP on Jakiro or Spectre. Spectre has hot Spectral Dagger. Oh!
Spectral Dagger on top of him. He didn't realize it. And the Dual Breath comes out, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. It's only level 1.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, I am a big fan of the skill build, except I go 2-0-1. This is what my skill build. Now CM's just going to get a free kill, right? Like, yep. There's no escape. Actually, no, Mr. Blue can save him with the Quelling Blade if he stops farming.
It's true, but, I mean, he sees the CM, and he's like, okay, that's all right. Now come out, Jakiro. I can take this tower for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now he just walks out.
If he tanks it. Okay, good.
Yeah, he tanked it. Yeah, this tower's just going to be dead soon. Spectre has to go back to Fountain. Yeah.
Honestly, I can see them pushing even longer. Like, I know Enigma is going to be coming out with a farm here real quick. He's going to have
with a Midas
pretty soon.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, they're going to get a lot of pressure on this whole place. Like, all right, they have this potential. They're diving up here. You can't really stop Abaddon Jakiro from taking a tier 2 at this point, unless they commit a black hole for it and they get like a perfect one.
Oh, they get the deny though. That's a big win.
That is a very big win.
Mr. Blue had his ult and full HP. I would have just ran under tower and forced them, like, to either give me a kill or give me the tower. they're gonna get bot as well. Look, it's bot's already down to 100 HP as well.
Yep. Why not? They can't rotate anyone to protect this tower. They can just pressure it all they want. Oh, and he ults them, and he's gonna get the tower on top of Silencer at this point too, knocking him down a couple notches. Silencer's gonna turn around and get that intelligence with one smack in the face. But
losing int on Faceless Void is so painful.
And Sniper TP'd in there. So if they can make use of that, if they see, oh, Sniper TP'd and he TP'd bottom, let's just push top. Let's take this down and try to force the black hole out on a Abaddon that has an ultimate.
Yeah, it looks like they're responding to the Spectre being so far out. They're just running at her. She's gonna have to dagger the trees.
Yep, does exactly as you say. But the dragon comes out, dual breaths him. He comes into the wrong area. He's gonna try to TP here.
Does he have Ice Path?
He does not. He knows it too. He knows how much he's been leveling that liquid fire because it's been doing so much damage to him.
Yep. So what build is the Medusa going? Oh, excellent. She's Mask of Madness. I love this pickup.
So what do you go after Mask of Madness? Now that I haven't really seen any Medusas being played at this point.
So when you go the Mask of Madness, it kind of fills the Yasha used to. So instead of going Yasha, you get the Mask of Madness that gives you your move speed and your sustain. And it also gives you a little bit more like offensive potential as well. So generally what you'll do is you kind of pick your next item, whether that's a full-on Scotty.
Oh, he just casted his ultimate mid. He casted a black hole missing the OD. Oh. Gets a sniper shot on him, but it's done. And he types in them, my bad. Called that out, because that is a huge waste.
It is. And they have a shrine, so they can get completely healthy and then just push mid off of this. But yeah, to finish my thoughts, like you kind of can commit either to a Lincoln's or a straight-up Scotty after you get Mask of Madness. I've also seen some people like to do Mask of Madness Bloodstone. I don't think that's a fairly niche build, though. So I'm guessing he'll probably just get a straight Scotty this game, because it doesn't appear to be a good Lincoln's game.
No Lincolns. I don't see any potential coming out with that.
Yeah, the only alteration I personally might make to the Scotty build is if it's an aggressive game, like you might just get like an ultimate orb and then pick up one damage item. So you get one ultimate orb for some tank, and then you pick up like a Maelstrom or like even a casual Demon Edge, just so you do some damage with all the attack speed your gives you.
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense.
They're diving the sniper mid.
The sniper on top. They're going to chop in, do a couple right clicks, but he's going to get away. Oh, wow, they're diving even further. Odie's going to get a couple right clicks off, kind of just push him away. Jakira's liquid fire is going to do some damage. Not really going to take any tower damage from this point. And they're just going to hope.
I think they just kill that sniper if he just astrals him. Jakiro.
I would think so, but they're playing it a little safe right now. They're a little worried about the rotation. They don't have ultimates, though.
Yeah, I guess if you just save it, the only thing that you can just push the tower with Jakiro casually, and then you always have your astral to counter any sort of engage they have on you. Does Spectre have her haunt up yet?
Spectre does have haunt, but
she picked up an Urn as well. I love the new Urn on Spectre. Urn was always a solid pick on the hero, just for how she likes to show up for a kill and gets free charges. But now it's just better for her with general purpose stats and fixed mana regen.
Real quick for the people who are watching on Twitch, me and Toffees are partners, and it's not always going to be Toffees on stream, so I'm part of the Coffee with Toffees logo now, so sorry to disappoint you if you're here for Toffees, but I'm doing the thing now too, and I'm here with Fafnir, so. But anyway, we'll get back into the game here. We have... Let's look at these graph charts. We got the net worth dripping down into Dire's side at this point. We also have that on XP, representing, the jungle is starting to catch up at this point, getting a lot out of it. Having the Midas is available as well gives him a lot of ability to farm it out, and they're not really punishing it. If they just push down at this point mid, like you were saying before, I think that'd be very fortuitous for their draft. and I don't feel like they're taking as much. Maybe it's because of the whole Medusa idea that you were talking about before. Like, it doesn't really conform with the draft, and they're thinking, oh, we have the late game. But you really don't. Not really. It's not guaranteed versus Spectre Sniper.
No, especially with Enigma, CM, they'll avoid. So you've got 3 team fight heroes with Spectre, Sniper. That's a scary late game team to run into. Their late game's no slouch, though. I think it's just so. Yeah, they're just not pushing as a group, and I'm a little confused by this. So they're playing for the late game, but OD's not indicating he's going to go for his own. He goes for a 4-staff first, which makes a ton of sense. I'm a big fan of get 1 core item up on any hero, then Midas. I think it's a really solid way to play, because it just kind of covers your bases. You can participate in the game, because an OD with a 4-staff is very difficult to kill. But if he's not going Midas, and Abaddon did go Midas, so they do have that farm potential secured. But I feel like this OD is going to fall very far behind the Sniper at this rate if he continues to itemize just for fighting items, and they don't actually try to take a fight with the Silencer ult.
I don't see, yeah, like you're saying, I don't see it being a problem. Like, they cancel out all their heroes, and they could even split push at this point, like if they're that worried about it, and then have Silencer save them in the split push type situation. Which, I mean, really the last thing you want to do on their team is sit back and farm. You could make stacks for Medusa, and she can do them pretty fast with the Mask of Madness, but
looks like he's going for the Dragon Lance. I don't quite get that. Like, I think Hurricane Pike or Dragonlance is quite good on Dusa if you need to like avoid a gap closing hero, but I don't think any of them really qualify. Even Spectre, like, yeah, she's a melee hero, but if she haunts on top of you, 4-staff generally doesn't save you just because of the way Dagger works and how she builds. So I don't know, I'm skeptical. Up top though, Mr. Blue.
Yeah, they freeze him out, but he gets up his shield. He's fine. His ult pops though now, and they miss the silence out on the creep. They're just gonna pull back, try to go to probably to the shrine, heal up. No problems there. No problems.
Yeah, Deuce is trying to pressure mid a little bit, but I don't. Yeah, I think they're just letting this Spectre get away with too much. Yeah, she's really far down. But any time, like, the fact that she's been able to catch up so much on XP alone is problematic, because she was quite low level, and she's still relatively low level, but now she's left alone because they're trying to fight up top.
And Abaddon has fallen very far on the last hit chart. He's been trying to just be this aggressive force up top, trying to push them all back at this point. And, I mean, the silences come out, and Curse of Avernus comes out on Enigma, but he's just going to walk away. There's no real problem for him. He's got a mech coming to him. He's going to heal up just fine.
Yeah. I think they just, if you wanted to have one of their heroes farming, but I think if you just have the Abaddon, Jakiro, and then one of the other 2 cores, the Silencer or the OD, that's how you pressure a lane. You can just walk away from an Abaddon at this point.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot available. Smoke play into their jungle.
Oh, they get spotted out.
The Crystal Maiden. They get the silence out. Mr. Blue's going to dive in, get those hits on him. The silence is coming out. They're going to stun out the... Wow, Enigma just exploded there. I didn't even catch that. My bad.
Yeah.
Alright, so they're just putting us... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, the Enigma just walked uphill towards the D and the Silencer Jakiro. They just dropped all their nukes on him and a couple arcane orbs, and he just died.
Yeah, trying to go in for that black hole play to turn it around, but there's no one really around him there, so maybe a little bit of a greedy play, trying to turn a spot when there wasn't really a bunch of damage there.
If he got a black hole off, Sniper probably could have shrapneled on top of it and at least gotten.
They try to jump in there. They miss the ice path. They get the frostbite back onto Jakiro. Haunt was committed. They're trying to chase down the Jakiro. They have black hole again. They're going to come in. Black hole, 2 of them. They're going to grab that Jakiro with the OD. The sniper ult comes out, grabbing both of them.
Silencer didn't have mana, longer,
but he's going to come back in. Mechs everyone.
Silencer didn't have enough mana
to ult. Oh man.
Yeah, that's the whole reason that happened. Silencer is just farming bot, and he backed off because he was low on mana, and he didn't go to shrine or something or secure his mana pool. So even when he switched to int treads, he was like 100 or like 50, 60 mana short of his global.
And that's why they picked the hero, right? You got to have that team fight ult there. You can't be using it all off on the side to just try to get some farm. Mid tower's probably going to go down for that because they have no way to answer at this point. They could TP in, but it's going to be death if they do. They still have Chrono up after all of that.
Yeah, and this is just getting real bad for what I think was a pretty heavy ALF draft and a overall pretty solid laning win. Even though Enigma did get a lot done in the jungle, and so they weren't behind in farm. Like as far as like combat strength, they were far, far behind. But now with the Black Hole committed, I feel like they just 5-man and take 2 towers, right? They take both these towers, and there's nothing.
Yep.
They have to surrender them both, right?
They have to. I mean, they could come back in, and they still have Chrono, and they're trying to catch him out right now. They're going for the Astral, but it is not there. Crystal Maiden's a little bit far out. They don't have a lot of catch on the Radiant, though. That's
Dreams is got. Dreams got to be careful. He uses Mask of Madness without his mana shield up. Ooh, okay.
They're picking down this tower a little bit. Sniper's doing some damage to the Abaddon at this point. Okay, they're laying stuff out. They're going to try to go for the commit for the OD, but nope, they're not going in. And yeah, just a disengage at this point. It's probably smart. Go back and farm now that they come out like this. Maybe grab that double damage, and they deny the mid tower at this point. They're going in on the Crystal Maiden though, and do a couple of right hits. Back off at this point. Mr. Blue grabs that double damage. He's going to be heading towards top. Try to put some pressure on this Spectre. And she's only 800 off of that Sacred Relic, so she's caught up quite a bit at this point.
Yeah, she's now ahead of... She's only 600 behind the OD after the kill mid. Where I don't know if she got the kills, but she... no, she's 0, 0, and 5. But she got assist gold for it. And, you know, and look at this big creep wave she can farm now. This is looking really bad for Team No TP here. Because once Spectre has Radiance up, the amount of damage they can do to all of their heroes is pretty immense. And they won't have taken enough of the map yet. They still have two outer towers left, and they don't really have control of the Dire side of the map at all.
Not at all. The Dire are very over Roshan too, so they can't sneak a Roshan on the Radiant side when I would say that they have the better team to actually do damage to him, but not the better team overall to like stop it, because they have not only Chrono, but they have that availability of that Black Hole. So
yeah, I feel like both teams are terrific around fighting around the Rosh Pit. Both are pretty terrible at killing Roshan. So the first team to go for Roshan, unless they've won a team fight, just loses. Oh,
Crystal Maiden gets almost caught out. Okay, yeah, they are definitely going to catch her out. They get out of silence, but I mean, if they would have stayed there, just in that position, they would have ran into a Crystal Maiden into like 3 Radiant heroes. So
yeah, they just need some mobility. This is why I don't like this Dusa. So they have an OD and a Dusa and an Abaddon. Like, how do they actually catch people? Like, every hero except for, unless OD gets an Astral off or Jakiro gets his Q off, they just walk away from them.
She's going to walk right into the Jakiro though, so Jakiro can do some Ice Path and slow, but he misses out the Ice Path, hits no one. They're going to try to get a ward up at this point. Hopefully they can re-engage. And I think they spotted it out because they pinged. They also have a Sacred Relic on Spectre now, so coming very far back into this game. We got let's see, net worth here. Yep.
Given that she had like 5 last hits and 3 deaths,
Ice Path comes out, stuns him out. They commit the ultimate. They commit the silence, but all right, that didn't really happen. The Black Hole is committed, but nothing happened with it. They jump in, Chrono, all 4 people. They get an ultimate on Crystal Maiden, coming down, letting it go all over the place. Abaddon's coming back in, gonna try to shield. He's not gonna live for very long. We got the OD coming out. He blasts down the ultimate, lays down the hammer, killing the Faceless Void, and Sniper does a couple of little right clicks, and he's gone. It's full team wipe.
It's a triple kill for Spectre. Basically now it needs 2 last hits and has her Radiance up, and this is turning into a disaster. once she has, they lost that team fight without a Radiance damage, just because the CM ult kind of substituted because it was such a good chrono. Now, next fight, they don't even need a great chrono to win it.
Yeah, and I guess that's what they're thinking with this draft. They're thinking, okay, well, they can silence one of our ultimates and cancel it out, but they're not going to get both of them. And then they just set it up again, because once the black hole has been laid, then they collapse and they feel good about it, and they get a perfect 4-man chrono and destroy everyone with it.
Yeah, and so and Medusa went back for the Yasha Dragonlance. These are just like these low impact items. It's not like the
Silencer
Radiance
puts out a silence onto Crystal Maiden, but once again he doesn't lay down the curse, so she's not going to be slowed at all. He's going to just jump. She just jump away. The stun goes out onto the Spectre. They're going to be diving for her, but she has that Radiance, so it's not going to do very much. And he has backup, or she has backup, dropping down that Midnight Pulse. Abaddon's getting really low.
Yeah, he can stay on the Midnight Pulse and get some HP back. But yeah, this just highlights this draft isn't made to catch anyone. It's a sieging draft, and they haven't done that. They're starting to do it now, but it's just too late. You let the Radiance get away.
It's supposed to take that out before the Radiance even is a factor at this point.
Yeah, get ahead before that. Not only that, they aren't even using OD. Like, why aren't they?
Yeah, they're slowing down that Crystal Maiden. They're going to get a couple right clicks, dropping them down. They get 3 people in a chrono, answering that out. They're going to stun out Mr. Blue. He's completely dead. We got Jakiro going down next. Alright, the chrono jumps away, gets all of his health back. Medusa is trying to come in, but she's dead. And OD astrals the Spectre to get away. So, good fight there. Good fight for Dire once again.
And Greaves are already up on this Enigma, who's the most he's close to the Sniper as far as most farmed here on the map. And they just aren't utilizing their team fight very well. So, like, when I looked at this draft, I'm thinking, okay...
He just used Black Hole on no one.
He did it on a creep wave. He was trying to cancel the TP of the Dusa, or OD, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so, but wow, that was a... interesting move, and obviously what
was somebody TPing in there and cancel it? Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, I think it was, but still, it's committed a black hole for that.
Yeah, you just kill them anyways. Like if they TP in, they're dead there. So why bother? But even then, just looking at the snap, Spectre's already into the top 3. They're solidly 10k gold ahead. With OD just trying desperately to finish a BKB, which really won't help him even at this point. I just say, like, so when you look at how you think they'd approach these fights, you think, okay, OD 4 staffs forward, catches somebody with an Astral, then we just Ice Path, Micropyre, and they're dead. And if Silencer tries, if they try to counter-engage Silence, Global comes out, they can't save them. So then they get their kill, and then they just siege. But OD's just been saving his Astral. They keep trying to catch people with Jakiro slow, which, it's a good slow, but you still just get a 4 staff or people walk away. They didn't invest in Ice Path levels. And Medusa's gone for all these little items, no big-ticket late-game items, so this whole draft, it feels like they drafted with what I thought was their game plan, and then this really feels more like, honestly, like a pub game. Whereas the HDYK has really approached this from a team perspective of, we're going to sack our Spectre, we're going to farm our Enigma and Sniper, and then we're just going to win team fights with our ults, and we're all going to be there together. And they played that much better.
Yeah, even versus the Silencer, too, which is a very big testament to who they are and what they're doing at this point as a team. With, I mean, look at the experience in gold drafts, not drafts, and the net experience is about 15,000, and we have the net worth is over 10,000. So
yeah, the experience you'll see just because of the Enigma, but the net worth lead is the shocking thing, and it comes down to, again, like, so if they don't set up like an Astral Ice Path, even a Global Silence, the Dire can just turn around and walk away from most fights. It seems like, unless they've already hard committed, and they're just not hard. Like, they're just doing a good job of not committing to these fights, letting them poke, and then once they force out the silence, they just run at them.
Yeah, there's not really much that they can do. I mean, the silences, if they're on point and they're like committing as they're jumping in, they could really turn this fight still. I mean, there's still a very there's still there's a will, there's a way at this point, and they do have a very good counterable way to stop them. Not only that, do they have a ability to just astral imprison whoever jumps in. That's going to be in like a team fight situation, keep them out of it, and hopefully dive the sniper. They just have no way to really get to the sniper. They have nothing that really gets into his face at this point. And that's why I would have to tend to agree with you after seeing this draft come to fruition that sniper was really the perfect pick, because he was able to keep people back with his shrapnels, keep people keep their draft from just knocking down their towers, and they have nothing really to dive him at this point.
So Medusa's now going. She's finished up a Hurricane Pike, which is good. You need, like, it's just a really good value to finish that up. But she looks like she's going back for the Manta, and this feels like Mask of Madness. It feels like the Lincoln's Manta sort of build that I just cannot stand, because they desperately need their carry to do some sort of damage or provide something, and just by getting all these small items, yeah, she stats up, but she's not going to be that tanky. And then even beyond that, like, she went this Mask of Madness, which usually, like, makes me think you want to be aggressive, but instead you bought another farming item, another value farming item, and then you bought a fighting item, which you don't really want to fight.
It's if they're going into this build, I feel like they came into it and they drafted versus the Dire team. And that's smart to do, but a lot of times if you can't play that certain style, it's a little bit harder to go. And
yeah, there's a blink now up on Void too. I don't know if we called that before. So good, like, now his chronos can be from very far away, because you can blink and then time walk in from very far. Looks like we got a smoke on the Dire though.
Yep, they're going to be smoking up, and they're going to go right down the middle here. Hopefully they're actually going to hit this OD. He has a blink though, so he has two ways.
He doesn't
to
have
escape.
much mana though.
He's jumping in. Chronos on top of 2. They get both silencer
Where's
into
the
it
Jays?
as well, so that they're not going to get anything. And drops out. He drops out the silencer to try to keep him alive. OD's going to die in that though, and they drop him down. They jump onto the hero, but they're going to try to take this Abaddon down. His ult pops, and everyone's a little bit low, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. They're just going to take down the hero. They're coming back in, dropping down that ability. Abaddon's going to go down to a bunch of right clicks, and the Midnight Pulse is going to take care of the Jakiro.
Yeah, so there, like, it was a good smoke, but if you notice something key happened in the fight, they got a good chrono off, but then as that happened, Medusa was right next to the chrono. He just missed her, and she didn't stone gaze immediately. If she stone gazes immediately, that whole fight could have potentially been turned, because Sniper can't right-click in there. He can throw shrapnels. CM can't ult in the position she was in, because she would have been frozen. And he ends up stone gazing after they're both dead, kind of hesitating. And I feel like this draft, the way it's worked out, I feel like the stone gazes had to be on point, as did the globals. And I don't think we've had a good global or a good stone gaze.
Silencer's going to get caught out and get that sniper ult, just smacks him down, and kind of guarantees that this tower is going to be going down. They're going to try to force staff him away, get a lot of damage out with those orbs, but it's not really going to do anything. He's too tanky for it. It drops. Oh wow, he gets a 4-man black hole, but he's able only 3-man. Gets astral. They're going to do a lot of damage. They're going to try to take out this Medusa. He drops down the hammer, taking out the Enigma. Finally getting some kills here. We got, oh man, he chases out versus a sniper. The sniper just punishes him for it. Mr. Blue's not able to get the heals out for him.
Wow.
And his ult's there, and he's going to be taken out here. He's got a frostbite and then puts on the shield again, but those ducks are going to be doing too much damage for him. And it's just a silencer. Abaddon buys back. They're going to be trying to do something here. Sniper is almost back to full health, though, because of the urn. Getting the silencer really low, doing 1, 2, 3, 4 right clicks, and he is down from that Spectre.
If you buy back the Abaddon, why didn't you buy back Medusa here? That's my question. If you buy back both, you could probably save Rax, right? She's got Stone Gaze. Yeah, you could force them out. Just feels like a complete lack of coordination right now with plans. Once Mr. Blue buys back, if Dreams buys back, they save that Rax. But if you're going to sack the Rax, you sack the Rax, right? Like,
Definitely. At this point, Mr. Blue is also going for the Radiance. I feel like it's kind of past the Radiance time for him to be useful. If he wanted to pick that up before he went into the Vlads.
Oh, look what he just did. If you see, he just bought an item, though.
Okay. He just bought the Blade Mail. Okay.
Blade Mail.
So that's,
I love this pickup.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, especially since... Oh, I was just going to say, Sniper's not at the fuel Mjolnir now. A Sniper, if you stand in his Shrapnel and he has a Mjolnir procs, if you just stand in the Shrapnel, you can actually make the Sniper back completely. You can pressure him out of the fight with just Blade Mail. Especially if your ult's up cooldown and you can literally just stand in there and go there. They are going to take Roche off this fight as well.
They're calling for the smoke. I think they knew about it, and
it's too late.
They break the smoke. They're going to jump in. They commit the ultimate on Medusa. They commit that silence too, and they're going to try to go in on the Sniper. Sniper gets pushed half away, and he's okay with that. But the Crystal Maiden's going to jump down to all that, and then Sniper's going to get last hit a couple times here. They're jumping in on this OD though. He's going to astral himself to keep himself alive for a little bit. We got a black hole getting 2 people here. The Abaddon's ult's going to pop, but that Jakira's going to be down here in a second. We got the Chrono committed on the back line, taking out 2. Stunned out with the auto attack on OD. He's down to like no health. We got Mr. Blue diving after the others, and Nogushi's going to be trying to take out this Medusa. In the back lines, we got Abaddon dying, and Medusa just runs away. So in the end, it's a 3 for 2. Probably not going to really change anything at this point in the. Yeah, it's just
pretty good for the Radiant though. They're behind 20k gold. And honestly, that fight is about as good as you can expect. You killed the Sniper. They just lack the damage other than OD orbs, just because of their nature. They always do a bunch of damage if you get off like 5-6 autos. But
yeah, but they
never got off the hammer.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was on cooldown. Was it on cooldown still, or?
I believe it was on cooldown in the beginning of the fight. I don't think it was by the end, but he didn't have the setup really to drop it on multiple people. So I think he felt like, oh, just save it for the next fight, which might not been the best move, honestly. But
yeah, it felt like I was just wondering because when the Sniper was so close to getting away and they almost had him dead, Mr. Blue had to dive really deep to get him, and I feel like if you have the hammer there. You probably just drop it and kill him, but I know he dropped it bot and it's a long cooldown, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be up or not at all.
Yeah, I was a little too busy.
Spectre has a defusal now, as well as the Void. This Medusa will just melt if they ever commit resources to kill her.
Yeah.
But they don't even commit resources. They just kill everyone else first.
Yeah. And honestly, the Spectre is going to start getting a lot for her, and she has a free... I mean, she still has Aegis. Yes, they took out 2 people, but the Aegis was not claimed as well. I feel like if they would have claimed Aegis, that would have been a victory. But only losing 1,000 gold is 1,000 gold swing is not that big of a favor. And like if you still look at the graphs, like it made like a tiny dent, but they're still destroying because they have the Midases. They still have they didn't get any map control at this point. They're still farming only in this general section right here, and
they have a lane of super creeps pushing in on them that they don't get much gold for. Yeah, Spectre's talent choice. She made a choice. I haven't seen anyone take this in Whitehall. Skip the 20 strength for 30 attack speed, and I'm not a fan of this. I guess they're so far ahead it doesn't matter, and she doesn't feel like tanky. But man, 400's 20 strength is so much on a Spectre compared to 30 attack speed. Just a lot more value, I think, out of that strength, especially with the way Dispersion hero works.
It's maybe she's thinking, okay, I mean, I already have the tankage by being able to grab the heart at this point, and my team's doing so well that I don't need to worry about it. I just might as well go for the ultra late game and just guarantee that at no point in this game are they going to have a better game than we do.
Yeah, I just guess the way I item my Spectres, I don't necessarily go heart because I can grab that 20 strength. It lets me go one more. I don't have to get the heart if I'm ahead, and if I'm behind, like it just keeps you alive.
Yeah.
So, but they don't have any silver edges. They don't have any way to get rid of dispersion. So honestly, they're both good choices. Honestly, like you can make an argument for either. I do like that she got the 25 spectral dagger cooldown talent, especially with the CM and the diffusal. You have plenty of int and mana for that, and the ability to just cast a dagger every 6 seconds means it's impossible to get away from you.
Most definitely. I also think that at this point that if you're going into this, like, I understand what you're saying. You might as well get more tanky and then use items to do more damage. Oh wow, and he just she just melts that Abaddon super fast.
Alt pops from the Radiance Burn. Oh, that's bad.
Yep, and now they can use their ultimates willy-nilly at this point. I'm expecting this next team fight to go pretty poorly if they don't get the maximum silence usage here. Because they can jump in. He's probably going to look for it. No, they're just going to right-click the tower a little bit, and Devour's going to hit him out. Do a couple orbs
Spectre goes in.
Spectre ults. She's jumping in on this Shakira. Shakira's going to go down. Nope, he hits himself in a Cyclone. Tries to get a stun out. There's an ultimate on Enigma. Picks up 2. Grabs, actually only 1. The Abaddon gets ult off again, though. Is able to blast up, and they drop down this Enigma once again. Aegis just expired, so she can drop here in a second, but she's not going to. She barely gets away, and they're going to try to take out Noguchi. Nogushi's going to get smacked down. He jumps in awkwardly.
Is he?
Gets in that last hit. Sniper takes out both of them in the back lines. And
3 out. Oh my goodness.
Wow, Sniper's still knocking on this tower. He wants more. The OD tries to jump out there, and he's going to get punished for it. He has nothing. He gets stunned out by the Pit of Malice. He puts himself into that area, but the Shrapnel's going to take him out immediately. Silencer's the only one left to defend this high ground versus a Sniper and an Enigma. The Sniper's just going to be doing too much damage, pokes him out a little bit more. Doesn't get the ult off, though, so he's going to survive by that Force Staff. Very good Force Staff, indeed. Medusa just does a couple hits there, drops down the jeez. Pulse.
Oh, Jakiro walks out there.
Yep. Ducks are too strong. Ducks are too strong.
They could have easily defended this Rax. Jakiro just needs to clear creeps. Instead, he walks out looking for a kill with the Yules.
Mouse is the silencer, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and Sniper takes him out.
Yeah, they keep. If they just defend as a unit, instead they kind of just ran forward and died as the 2 supports.
Yep, they keep.
Not that it much matters. You're down 35k to the Spectre lineup. This sort of late game lineup with Spectre Sniper. Like, as soon as Haunt comes back up, or no, she's already back down here. She doesn't even need to use Haunt to get engaged. I think they're just going to kill this Medusa.
No, she's going to be able to Force Staff herself out, but the damage is done.
The whole team's the whole team's up. She's got her heart. They're just going to take the base now. It's pretty over. Global's going to be up. Both teams will have everything up except Black Hole, which is up in 10 seconds because he took that cooldown reduction. So I think we're just going to have one last effort of a team fight from no TP, and then this will be GG to game 1.
Maybe. And they could come back here. I mean, we still haven't seen it quite yet. Their ults have been hit pretty well on some of these fights, but they haven't really had a perfect silencer ultimate yet. And they
I just think the heart. Oh, this
the ultimate gets popped immediately, though, by Mr. Blue, and that is not going to be good because he's just getting slowed down by the Sniper by his right clicks. They drop down a lot here. They put out the illusions first. And
yeah, Sniper took the extra charges. Yeah.
And buys straight back. The Medusa's down really low, though. Silencer tries to jump in. They jump in on the back. OD has a BKB. They silence him out. They get the ultimates, both trapping all the people. And wow, that is just everyone gone, and only OD's left. GG is called, and it was a good game.
And an ultra kill for the Faceless Void. And yeah, I think this game just demonstrates you can outdraft someone pretty hard, but if you don't understand your draft, it doesn't matter. Because I feel like I know what Mr. Blue and Team Nope TP, at least what Mr. Blue was thinking with this draft and what he did, but then with how they played it and the amount of space they gave Spectre after they came out and dumpstered her in lane just tells me as a team they were not comfortable with how to play this draft.
Most definitely. It seemed that as if they were trying to get ganks when all they needed to do was come together.
Walk down mid.
Down. Yep.
Yeah, they could have poked a tier 3, I think, pretty easily. As long as Sniper stays like hidden in trees so that the Void can't find him or the Enigma can't find him. Like, as long as he's able to global, they could just back away from any engage.
But a good effort for both teams, and we will be back here. I mean, we'll still be here, and the second game is coming right up. So stick around.
Yep.
I think that game, I don't know, there's a lot that can be said about, different plays that you could make, and it was obvious to us because we were in the background, and it's always easier to look at it as an omniscient person, but I feel like the main problem was that, I mean, obviously there was the pushing, but the skills just didn't come out where they wanted to be. It kind of seemed like what you were saying before, where it kind of seemed like a pub, where people were just kind of doing what they wanted to do, when felt like there was no real direction on the team fights. There was just like, oh, okay, we're gonna have this guy go around here, but there was no like, we're gonna imprison this person so he's out of the fight to set up the Jakiro or anything like that.
Yeah, I think so. And then the other thing was the Deuce didn't do anything. If you're not going to anchor your team fight around that Stone Gaze as a carry, she doesn't offer much. And if you can go late game against a team and just defend high ground, that makes sense. But you can't do that against snipers like that lineup. You can't. And they knew most of the lineup going in, and they were just they got punished for it. So we will see what they end up picking up. Maybe they'll pick up a more active carry that Dreams can make some plays on, or if they draft kind of more of if they guard themselves better against the late game.
Yeah, I think that would be the best. Try to go with something aggressive, especially if you know that this team values jungle that much. I would love to see someone like a Spirit Breaker or maybe even a bounty hunter.
I had to bring myself online to find the lobby.
Oh, that is weird.
I was searching for it, and then because of that, I don't think it.
Yeah, my bad.
Nope, I pulled this in, so we're good. It was just weird because, but I guess it can't detect lobbies of friends because you're technically offline. So
makes sense.
And then when I did the search, I didn't find it with the. I probably just didn't do all caps. Maybe that was it.
Yeah. But game 2 is going to be coming up here soon. Well, besides that, I mean, we talked about the second game plenty. What do you think about this new patch since you've played a few games? Is there anyone that stand out to you so far?
No one hero. No one hero. I think Sven's the pub star, but I think that's more of a pub thing because a lot of people know how to play Sven, and Mask of Madness got buffed, and Sven has gotten overbuffed. Like his ult is pretty crazy since it's kind of like the old Alchemist ult. Mm-hmm. But the main thing I'd say that stands out is that you need cores you need to have 2 heroes that can flash farm either stacks, jungle, or that sort of thing. And if you don't have that, you need to have a lineup where you understand where, okay, we're not going to farm them, we're just going to slam it down their throat. So I feel like there is still room for strategic diversity, but I think for the pubs, you are just going to see stacks / jungle farms. But the thing is that stacks actually are worth so much less than you think, because like the 20% really adds up. So like those big quad stacks aren't nearly as valuable as they were in previous patches. You really feel that 20%. So it's more like, I feel like the more sustained clear heroes, which is why Mask of Madness works so well on Sven now, is because it gives him that sustained quick jungle clear. Like Mask of Madness actually straightened to blink because it lets him blink from camp to camp plus run. He actually farms like an AM then at that point. And so I think you actually want to do similar things with Jug, with Luna. Luna's naturally fast, so you can just get Mask of Madness on her, potentially even just Yasha. I don't know if you need the mask with her, but I think it's good since you can disassemble it. So I feel like you want either a mid like Lena or a mid Storm, somebody who can farm jungle if you don't have one in safe lane. Like you need at least one big jungle farm, it feels like, for at least for a pub. I mean, in pros, you can do much tighter strategies. That's how I kind of feel about the patch. Beyond that, I feel like the offlane's incredibly punishing now. Either way is my kind of thought, because if you as an offlaner get a range creep deny and like 1 or 2 denies in the first wave, those supports are going to be level 1 forever unless they get off an uncontested pull, and you can just snowball it crazy. But if the supports do their job and you don't get those denies, you are in trouble.
Yeah. The deny game is something I'm still getting used to. honestly.
Yes. Did I tell you about the sniper guy I played versus an Invoker?
Yeah, you did. You told me about how brutal it was.
He was down 2,500 XP. Like, and he had a Midas at not a awful timing. It was like 12 minutes or 14 minutes. It was bad because I was beating him in lane, but he was so far down in levels, and that's everything to an Invoker. Like, people like, I don't know, I on the .p podcast, they were saying, I think Shadow Fiend's super strong. And yeah, he can farm jungles, but I feel like, man, if you get shut down in lane super hard, it's very difficult. Like, I shut down a Shadow Fiend really hard as a mid-Veno, and the only reason he got back in the game at all is because he got a kill on me, and then my Luna TP'd mid and like ran at him, so I kind of went with him, and then we both died, and he got all the XP, and we were both like 3 levels above him or 2 levels above him. So like he was instantly caught back up. But man, before that, I think he got 1,100 gold and like 2 levels off of that. Like, even if you can clear stacks, because it's 20% less XP, like if you get dumpstered mid, it's really tough to come back. So I'm kind of skeptical on Storm. The only reason I'm not skeptical, like I think Storm might do better than SF, is just because he has that innate gank potential, and it is nice. The jungle changes are nice for both of them, but the shrine changes hurt them a lot too. So I feel like it's just going to be a patch of lane dominators, and specifically I think it's more lane dominating supports, because core matchups are still what they are. They haven't changed this patch for the most part. So if you can pick this Jakiros, those ogres, these heroes that just make the lanes go your way, you can get a huge advantage.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I feel like the lane dominators are something that I'm picking up a little bit more. Personally, I've really enjoyed AA. I feel like I've said it like almost in everything I'm ever talking to anyone. The availability of having that bonus move speed gets you out of the harassment, and you can harass a lot with the availability of just using your right clicks. Yeah, adding that extra magic damage is pretty insane. So, and obviously his team fight potential later on with his ultimate's very good versus all these tanky hero lineups. If I face a Sven, it's really nice to have these guys that have these giant health pools that generally have these easy ways to heal. Whether it's like lifesteal or whatever, he's just very, very strong.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm still skeptical on that one. I feel like he can certainly work, but I'm actually more partial to a couple different heroes who I think can be lane dominators and don't get as run over. So I definitely do think the old style, more aggressive roamer. The only one I really still like at this point are, I'd say, Tree and Ricky. And the reason I like them is because they bring really impressive team fight potential. Because if you can't farm, and transition as a support, you need to either be like the position 5 Dazzle or something, so it doesn't matter. Like, you do your thing, you just get a few levels, you're fine. Or you need to be able to do like some team fight damage, because since chain pulling is back, like I don't think roaming is as viable or as valuable.
Yeah.
Because you have that way. So like these roam heroes that don't bring the team fight anymore, like you got to bring that. I guess all the classic, the top ones still do that. So I suppose they're all okay, except Monkey King because he's nerfed to the ground. I think Earth Spirit's going to be can still be really good this patch, though. The main thing is that you need to, like, I think Earth Spirit players just have to adjust to the fact that they might have to just go be the pulling support. So like maybe like an Earth Spirit Jakiro sort of lineup where you have like Jakiro can just go some other lane and do things, and so that way if the ganks aren't happening, you have like the Jakiro go to a lane to pressure and let that Earth Spirit do the pulls instead.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. All right, so we're getting into the draft here. We got similar bands. We have the Sven.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab another drink.
Okay, so we have Sven and Invoker being banned out. No too surprise there. They're gonna ban out the Abaddon. He did a lot for them early game. Makes a lot of sense that that HDYK could possibly do that. It makes sense that they are gonna ban out one of Mr. Blue's more favorite heroes. They also answer by banning out the Ember Spirit. Maybe HDYK have some type of hero that they really enjoy on him. I think that Ember Spirit has lessened a little bit in this patch. He's not quite as strong as other heroes, but he's still able to go into a farming spree by picking up these camps. So there's still something there, obviously. And they begin this draft by picking up the Dazzle. Dazzle has obviously the new Ag Scepter, so a lot of interest there. But they answer right away with Axe, which, I mean, his new Ag Scepter is incredible, and I think that Axe is a very strong hero right now in general. Obviously, he was strong last patch, but I think he's even stronger this patch. And Crystal Maiden, because they seem to really enjoy the Crystal Maiden. It offers a lot of mana and viability to the rest of the team. Just offers some harassment. I think if they punish it this game, they go a little bit more aggressive, they could come out a lot better. The Earthshaker is their second pick on Team No TP. Makes some sense. I don't like the idea of picking up a stunning hero versus picking up a stunning hero that can do it from a range versus Crystal Maiden's very nice. But if you have Axe, he is very aggressive versus melee lineups. Maybe they're saying if they go Axe versus the Dazzle, that'll be fine. But besides that, it's a little risky to go into that type of lineup with a Earthshaker. They do ban out.
I think it's an offlane shaker.
Interesting.
It's Mr. Blue played the offlane last time, and it's one of his favorite heroes. I know it's one of the ones he feels like he can carry the game from in a position because of his potential. So I'm wondering if he's going to take it offline.
Interesting. They do have OD being banned out. Maybe a respect ban for no TP. Maybe they just don't want to deal with an OD again. He's very good in lane. So take him all out. They're taking out another classic teamfight hero on HDYK. They ban out the Enigma on no TP. They just don't want to deal with that awesome teamfight that was available for them last time. Honestly, I think that they should have banned out the... Maybe they don't fear him, like I was kind of talking about before, but the Chrono was kind of a bigger play than the Enigma. The Enigma's ultimates were very, very shy, and when they did come out, they took out a lot of... They didn't even ever really get fully off. They got canceled out pretty quickly. They didn't really have a lot of potential. So maybe they
But they already have the Axe. Do you think they'd still run a Faceless, or do you think that the Axe would be the jungler in this situation?
Well, honestly, I wouldn't think people running... It would be kind of silly to run a... what was it? Enigma and Chrono, because obviously with a silencer on the board, it's something that people used to do, but it's just way too much lockdown and way too much potential that they didn't really need to have last game. But it worked out for them, so anything's possible at this point. Because if they're playing if they like the jungle and they have an Axe, they can go kind of anything that they want to at this point. Because he's kind of one of the people this patch that farms decently well in beginning jungle.
Yeah, I think that's the reason they didn't ban it. And like you said, honestly, the Enigma wasn't that big of a problem. So maybe though they don't worry about the Void, because the Void Chronos were good, but they weren't the scariest. Okay, there's a Spirit Breaker, so this is an offlane shaker then, or like a dual lane, right?
Has to be an offlane shaker for sure. The Spirit Breaker is probably just going to be roaming around, maybe taking a hint off of what I said last game, going into that aggressive type role, trying to get
ganks,
get these ganks off. Honestly, could be an offlane Spirit Breaker. I don't know if Mr. Blue loves to do that or not, but I would not be too surprised by that opportunity.
I know. Just I think Old Man plays the. I think he plays the Spirit Breaker. If I remember right. So I think he'll play that. I'm pretty confident Mr. Blue's in the shaker. He's more than he played as a support shaker though, if that's what his draft calls for. So I think they could switch it up. My question is, what safe lane are they going to do here? They need somebody who can deal with an Axe contesting them with just a Dazzle's backup. Now Dazzle's a really good lane support to deal with Axe. Like he counters at the grave, but Poison Touch and Shadow Word and his heal bombs are super effective against Axe. Especially now that the armor's gone from Tranquil Boots, especially. So, but you do need the right carry for it.
I think Troll. I think if they got Troll and they got the ability to pick up a Diffusal Blade, take out all of his mana whenever he is hitting him, get him really quickly so that he can't dunk, you can just dazzle grave him and kind of counter the counter on top of it. Plus, you don't have to stand next to the creep wave to last hit. He can easily last hit from really far away, and even get a further distance if he wants to by picking up an item that's great for him and great for all ranged agility heroes, which is going into Dragonlance. Kind of cancels out Axe potential there.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Troll's pretty good.
Plus, it also answers the Medusa problem.
It does. So, I'm trying to think what. So they've got their mid and their core. Oh, there we go. That's a good answer to a Medusa. You're gonna play the core bench, and you just be very aggressive. Now the key is to actually be aggressive. Where I thought they had an aggressive pushing lineup before. They put themselves. This hero pick makes it clear what should happen. So hopefully they've discussed this and know, because Avenge Core can just dumpster Medusa quite some time until we're up to like the 20k net worths, but she cannot outfarm her at all. So you have to be aggressive taking objectives.
Definitely. The thing though is they could still have a good matchup versus the Lena.
I like the Shadow Fiend ban. Shadow Fiend Venge is a really strong combo, especially with the Dazzle.
Would you think they would have had to worry about that though? Because I mean, yeah, they have a lot of minus armor on that team, but Lena would have just shut down Shadow Fiend mid, right?
No, you have the Spirit Breaker babysit it, you sack the Earthshaker, and Shadow Fiend gets to the point. So even if you shut him down and you're ahead, if you can create enough space for him to catch up, what Shadow Fiend does is Shadow Fiend just sieges towers. He gets Dragonlance BKB, and he just sits there. And if you ever go on him, he gets swapped back. He gets graved, which gives you time to swap him back, and then you've got Echo Slam to counter engage. And if the Venge dies, you have to commit, like at that point you've committed so much damage to not kill a Shadow Fiend and then to kill a Venge to lower all of your damage that you just are going to get cleaned up.
Makes sense. We have
I've seen a combo that IG runs it. When they run core Venge for burning, they will put OP on Shadow Fiend a lot if they can get it, because of the minus armor synergy. Plus, it gives them a Dragonlance, long range Dragonlance hero to hit towers.
Ah, gotcha. Well, the thing though is that they ban out the Nyx on no TP. Why do you think that they ban out the Nyx? Because they have a Spirit Breaker to see the charge.
I think they want a Storm.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
What lockdown? He has to get caught by a call, right? Like,
well, there's also
Frostbite,
Cyclone,
yeah.
Frostbite and Cyclone.
Yeah, but if you don't time it perfectly, he gets a zip off.
Yeah, I guess so. I would not want to risk that.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, they go with the Sniper. Why'd they ban the? Okay, that makes sense too. Sniper, like if you look at the heroes, what support / offlaner can still close the gap on the Sniper? Nyx is on that list, right?
Definitely on that list now.
So Storm was more of an aggressive choice who could go late game. Sniper's a more defensive choice who can go late game.
Yes, definitely. They answer with a Clockwork, so they are going into that off lane with Clockwork. They're going to do that Axe jungle once again. Try it.
Maybe they might support the Clockwork.
They could try to do support Clockwork. You're correct. I think that. Well, yeah, they could work for them. Clockwork's actually a very good answer in general, though, because it does hurt the Earthshaker quite a bit. It's the best.
And the Spirit Breaker.
Spirit Breaker is bad. Earthshaker's the worst. The worst counter in the world is a Clockwork. That's someone you don't want to face because it stops all spells except for his ultimate. And generally, the cogs push out the creeps from being able to get too close in general. So.
Yeah, I don't particularly love his Clockwork against a Sniper in general. Like the blade, he's a blade mail builder, so that's good. But snipers go Hurricane Pike so fast, and you can go 4-staff first on the hero, and it doesn't even hurt his farm potential really. So I don't particularly love it against the Sniper, but you're right, it's so good against the Earthshaker, and it answers a lot of their issues. It also is pretty well. Venge can always swap, so I don't know. Like I have mixed feelings on the Clockwork. I think he's really good in that he's a gap closing offlaner and then you can axe jungle, or he's a nice beefy support to contest the Spirit Breaker. But I feel like in other ways, I'm not sure how it works great with the lineup.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, Crystal Maiden, he creates kind of chaos when they're in her ultimate, so you can ultimate on the side. Also, Lina has a big stun on top of his.
Yeah, he's going offline. So jungle axe.
Yeah, I would have been very shocked if they would have done a support clock after. I mean, they highly value jungle on this team, and they're going to continue doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just felt like if you send a Clockwork bot with Axe, you can guarantee that Axe is level 2 if you do it right. And then once your Axe is level 2 or level 3, then Clock can just roam, and then Axe can jungle, or Clock can take the lane because he's a Clock still and he's fine. Or you can just, if you're winning, you just that's like Axe Clock is just the lane that can snowball out of control on you as a aggro duo. But you're right, they value the jungle, so they're going to use the jungle. But we'll see. I like the Windlace start on Clockwork. He's a little light on regen, but he's going back for the nice, I think, Bulba cog block that you've referred to several times. So he's at least positioned to do it. We'll see if he pulls it off.
I don't think he is. He's not really positioned to do it. He has to get in between the racks and things.
Well, I mean, he walked back to where he would have been able to do it. Then he kind of ran in circles.
So maybe he has not watched anything that I've done, which is okay. I don't expect
well,
that. But he does get a kind of cog block.
Well, he gets the range creep completely in front. So it's kind of like it's just a lower kind of technical version of a block. It doesn't pull the whole creep wave back, but what it does do is make sure that range creeps is going to die first, unless the support is on the ball and catches it properly, which he does not. So the lane is going to push, just not as much as you'd want with a Clockwork.
Yeah, I do something similar to what he did there, but not exactly. And honestly, you can't do the clock block anymore because
you can't.
They took out the. You can do it. But the whole idea
was they don't have that shrine. So. Yeah, that's right. Still, they got a double range creep. He's going to get his level 2 easily. Maybe in level 3 off this. Meanwhile, mid, Sniper Lina, I'd say it's a pretty even lane. I think Lina has more kill potential, but both can really, to get kills, you'd want ideally a rotation. And the Spirit Breaker and a Clockwork both provide that potential at a certain point. Even with just a haste rune, a Clockwork can do it, or an invis rune, you can easily just get a kill that way. Up top, this offlane Shaker's not getting zoned at all, though. So
yeah, I was about to say that I'm not a fan of offlane Shaker, even though I run it sometimes, just because I have to, and you'll have to do in pub sometimes what you got to do, but it doesn't really offer a lot. Oh, wow. Dazzle goes in. They go in on Dazzle. They're going to come in. The Cogs are going to push out the Spirit Breaker, though, immediately, so he's not going to be able to get off his charge. The stun comes out from Venge. They start chasing him down. He's going to have no health. He's going to probably have to go back. Maybe Tango up to be okay, but from there, but pretty hurt.
Oh, really. But he got off the pull, basically. So this actually is really painful. It's kind of nice for the Dazzle, I guess. Dazzle got a last hit there, but nope, they're coming back. So okay, so they're not going to actually lose any XP because Dazzle got the last hit there. So the pull, even the contested sort of weird dire creep pull, ended up not really hurting the Venge.
Yeah. Also, this is another problem with our offlane Earthshaker. It's really good if you have a Crystal Maiden, but since they have a Crystal Maiden on the other team, it's going to be kind of hard to get these last hits and get this potential, because you can usually just spam Fisher on certain key points, and he's doing that, but it's not going to be quite as strong as it is with a Crystal Maiden. Whereas Clock's going to have plenty of mana.
He's got so much regen still. He still has 4 tangos and a salve, and he's level 3, and they have not harassed him out yet. So I feel like he's not going to pressure them like offlane Chicker with a CM. You can really pressure the safe laner just with that fissure spam. But as long as he doesn't eat like a big snake bounce, it seems like he'll be able to get all the levels he need, and then he just needs to have his team kind of set him up for a few echoes or a few nice fissures to win team fights, and then get his blink.
Yeah.
He's not going. I'm curious to see if he'll go in with a farming build. Like if you watch what Universe does, he gets a lot of points in Aftershock as offlane Shaker, just so he has that farming potential. And that farming potential enables him to get that blink a little faster.
Yeah, and it generally keeps them locked down when he does initiate it with an echo later on, and he has the totem. Everything lasts longer. All stuns last longer when he has that up. So it makes sense that he would do that as Universe being kind of the guy that's okay to sacrifice for your team. But maybe, you know, you want to have that more shock value play of the damage coming out with the Fissure. It can be a little bit better for you if you can get some explosive damage sometimes, especially if you're going...
This Deuce is going really deep and might get hit with the charge on the other side of the tower. This could go really badly for her.
Oh, most definitely, and it's going to
She's going to eat a ton of damage
eating
right now.
so much damage here, but it has no block. Oh, while this stun gets off, he's going to get a couple last hits, but he has
He's going to get an air shock off. Oh, this is a dead Deuce, right? Oh, there was a first blood in the jungle, though.
It was a mid. He got an haster and picked that up real quickly. The Medusa's going to get away here too. Like the shock happened, but it's not going to be enough damage. The Spear Breaker doesn't have a Ove. He doesn't have an Orb of Venom.
Oh man, he went for the Stout instead. Like I don't mind picking up the Stout after, but you have to have the Orb of Venom. If that's an Orb of Venom, that's a kill, 100%.
Oh, most definitely. And that's okay though. They still have. They're not that far behind right now. They still have plenty of potential. They have 2 of the 3 left. Yeah, they're gonna come back up together, and that Axe still has a very big stack in the jungle that he's gonna do right now by being able to haul this down. Well, actually, he's not gonna forget who he is. They're gonna be going on this Crystal Maiden. Spearbreaker's up here. He has boots now. He's wanting to charge the Crystal Maiden. Mr. Blue doesn't have a stun though.
Yeah, he got hit with the snake, and his mana just goes away. Like what little reach in. And Venge goes down bot to Clockwork.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
And that was just a battery assault rocket play. Like his cogs weren't even on cooldown.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
He's just low sitting in lane then, right?
Right. Well,
he's going Midas first. Oh man.
Can't be too low on Clockwork at this point because he has. Oh wow, it's going to be answered here. They get a couple right clicks in. Nope. Did not ult.
No assassinate.
If he would have assassinated, he would have killed him.
Yeah, 200. Yep, 200. Yep, that's dead. That's a dead Lina. 100%. That hurts. That hurts so much.
Yeah, could have been a huge outplay there because he's winning that lane pretty handily right now, 31 to 15, and Axe obviously is getting the most farm on the Dire side as he should be as an Axe jungle.
Yeah, the thing is though, is if you look at this game, I know Venge is typically an early game carry, but once you pick the sniper, it kind of changes the complexion of this game because while Venge will farm slowly, the amp she gives to sniper, and the simple fact is that the high ground against a Venge sniper is almost impossible to break, unless, especially with this lineup.
They're gonna get the snipe off on CM. She's gonna go down.
Yeah, because if you have your sniper sitting with shrapnel behind your tier 3 all the way back, and have Venge sitting behind her, like near Fountain, even if Axe gets off a nice smoke or Shadowblade 4-staff sort of call onto the sniper, a simple swap saves the sniper, and then the Axe just dies, and you don't have any other counter engage to get in there except a clock hook. And by then, you know, you've got 4-staff some people to save. It's just, I think the late game complexion is very different.
Coming out on Medusa here. He's going to be stunning her up, but he still does not have that ooze, so she's going to just walk away just fine.
Well, she's got phase too. Yeah, even with phase, but even with an Orb of Venom, once you have phase with Medusa, you're fine. Like, the thing though is that he can't trade with her. Like, you know, he just keeps sitting here. Mr. Blue though is just not getting enough out of this. He's got his mana boots up now. That'll let him continue to farm wildly. They actually moved the Dazzle up here. Interesting. They're leaving the Venge alone. And Venge is going for this Hand of Midas, come hell or high water. And while I don't mind the Midas
they're going to be going in on top right now. They're jumping in with Axe.
Oh, Axe.
They're going to be coming in. The stun comes out from Earthshaker. He's trying to get away with the TP, but it's not going to be beat. Well, he may be able to. This charge is coming in to give sight, stops him up, and Earthshaker's going to be able to TP away out of this, but will he get an extra call here? And he gets the Spirit Breaker down. He drops down the Axe, but it does not connect. And Spirit Breaker is just going to walk away from that situation. The Clockwork has a nice rotation, though. Hooks in and kills that mid.
He even had a DD. He just hooked in, battery assaults up, and just punched him a few times and just dead. Lena almost died for that, though. She played very aggressive to kind of set up that hook. So that's just the danger of Sniper until he gets his Force Staff up. You're always going to be vulnerable to getting Clockwork hooked unless you have your Venge or your Dazzle sitting behind you.
He's also not going the Force Staff first. He's going the...
I don't like that play. The Dragonlance is nice, but I feel like you just like this is the thing I like about Sniper Mid a lot is if you need that range, if you're having a really good game where you just need to farm, you just get a little more take aim, you can forego the Dragonlance and just get a Maelstrom, or if in this case you need that Force Staff to survive, you just get more take aim again, and then you get all that Dragonlance range potential, and you just get the Force Staff to live. Whereas if you're just smashing it, you can just max out headshot, get the early Dragonlance, and just go fight people.
Definitely. And I don't like the Midas pickup, honestly. I don't want to like hound anyone at this point, but Midas on someone who's supposed to be available to not have the supports all constantly on them. Oh, TPing in to try to stop them from killing the Lena, and it is successful. Oh, the hook in comes in on
but
Spirit Breaker.
He doesn't have his charge up anymore.
Yeah, he's gone. He gets that light strike blade, but Laguna Blade just destroys him.
Yeah, so I actually like the pickup of a Midas on Avenge in this sort of game, but I think you just, like you say, you get it like, honestly, you get it after your, like maybe even after your full Hurricane Pike, you know? So you get your treads up, you get your wand, you get your Blightstone, or your Phase Boots, your Blightstone, and then get your Midas. Or after your Force Staff, Hurricane Pike. Because the Midas is to secure your farm, because if this game goes bad, you could be in a situation where you need
going in
Midas
up on top. Echo Slam is committed, blasting down, gets the last hit with the Enchant Totem. Sorry.
Nice. No, that's fine. I was actually watching down bot because Clockwork was running straight at the Venge, and I thought there was potential to get Cog blocked, but he had a quick stun and backed off appropriately. But that's a big kill for that Earthshaker. That puts him... He's getting closer to where he... So yeah, he's about 1,200 away from his blink, so it's going to be a late blink, but still, he should be able to get it. At this point, I kind of want to see him just go hide in the jungle and get safer farm, because he really can't afford to die and set this blink back anymore. If you're going to absorb dangerous farm, I think that's Spirit Breaker's job at this point. Or even the Dazzle can go do it, you know?
Right. And even though he's gotten less farm, and it hasn't been as much, like his actual... potential is almost as good as the Axe, and honestly, Axe with Blink Dagger is amazing, but Earthshaker is even better. If you get a Blink Dagger on Earthshaker on this team, it is very deadly. The thing is, putting him in the off lane is generally a much harder way to guarantee that you're going to be able to get that. So a little bit greedier, but in the end, is probably going to be better for their team.
Yeah. Clockwork's going back for his own Midas. I think both teams have realized that with the Sniper and the Deusa pickups, high ground's just not going to happen early. So they're kind of setting up for the late game.
Like they see the Clockwork by the scan. They don't actually see him. Oh, yeah, they do. They get that shot off. Oh, and he's looking for the hook. He gets the hook. And the Spirit Breaker's going to charge, but oh, he got him. And the Laguna Blade kicks his butt, and the Spirit Breaker is going to try to sit there.
Does Echo up? Echo's not up.
Echo is not up. He just used it for top.
Lena's going to die for this,
Lena's going to get poison touched up. He's going to get a couple of auto attacks in. Mr. Blue's going to get that last hit.
He gets the streak.
And that Blink Dagger is looking real close. Oh, he smacks him down, but honestly, I think that this is time to back away.
So, I kind of feel like Yeah, at this
Charge is coming
point,
up for Crystal Maiden here. Hold on just a second. I
Yeah.
want to see if there's anything that's going to come of this. We got a fissure going to be coming in. Oh, nope. They're backing off. Sorry, what were you saying?
no, I was gonna say at this point, I think it's clear they're targeting the sniper. They're just trying to use this kill potential of the Lina. I think you just have to have your Dazzle sit behind your sniper at this point, right? Like, that's where he should be.
So. Yeah, because you're not going
Like,
to
you can sit behind the Venge, but the Venge has got this Midas, and not only that, Venge has at least a stun. He has a chance to get away.
Right.
The sniper has no chance.
Honestly, I would have agreed with you. Not until this point. Now Axe has that blink dagger, and he can just blink in and call if he has that opportunity. So before, if he would have just stayed by him and had the availability of doing a shallow grave, it would have been fine. But nope, he's going to call this sniper, get him hit in, but the lightning strike is going to miss. The ult comes out from Spirit Breaker.
Oh, this could turn real bad.
The ult comes, the shrapnel comes out, the bash comes out, and she is gone. So,
really great charge there by Old Man. Turn that around, and in that time, Mr. Blue's farmed up his blink. He's going to grab this bounty rune, and his blink is now bought. Yep. So Earthshaker gets a blink only, what, 2 minutes behind the Axe, who is jungling, and the Axe initial reveal gets his mid killed. So that went pretty great for the Radiant.
Top tower is going to go down here probably, but it looks like they're going to be trying to go for the deny. They are not going to get it. The sniper's here to kind of push them away. So I'm sorry, they are going to get the deny. The Dire's not going to get the.
Oh, why aren't they denying it?
They are.
Nobody wants to deny it.
Well, Clock got another pick on this Venge, and this is why what I was saying really about going the Hand of Midas early. Yes, you'll get the farm, but you need the availability just to get away. Like, if you would have actually just gone Force Staff and then Hand of Midas, that would have been fine. Just anything to get rid of this lineup, because Force Staff works decently well versus an Axe sometimes, too. You can do it quick enough. So, really...
Yeah, you stun them out, and then just Force Staff yourself away and run.
Right. They just really need some positioning. And he's killing a stack in the Radiant jungle at this point. Giving them a lot. Oh, they deny the tower mid once again. Dazzle does a great deny under Lina's nose. Really, Johnny Magic is the kind of keeping the Dire in this game, though. He's killed the safe laner about 50
He's the
times,
highest net worth here on the Dire.
Yes, he is.
He's completed up his Midas.
He also, let's check out these kill deaths assists. He's got 4 kills, 0 deaths, and 4 assists. He's been a part
100% kill participation.
Yep.
If a charge comes out on him, though, they could kill him.
They could, but the thing is, they have friends in the neighborhood. That Axe is coming in, and he's going to cog him up, get him all locked in there, has the availability. He's going to die down that bottom, but mid gets knocked down with the fissure and a stun ultimate just for safekeeping. So gets 2 kills down there for the 1 down at bottom. At this point, really, Venge is kind of looking almost like maybe she can't really survive as long and really not be in that carry type position.
Yeah, she's still, but in combination of going these phase boots and then just doesn't have any, like, has the full wand and stick, but she just keeps going to this lane alone and getting picked by the clock, because in a clockwork game, you can't be alone. Like, any one hero honestly could save him. Like, if Sniper's there, you can just turn it and kill him. If, you know, Dazzle or Earthshaker or Spirit Breaker, you at least have some sort of disengage. I just think they need a buddy system at this point. Like, you can't be alone in this game when the clock, if you don't have vision of the clock and the clock is not very far away from you. Even then, honestly, there's the Axe too. Like, this is definitely like a buddy system game.
Yeah, I think that they need to have Sniper helping create. Actually, no. You know what? Venge should be helping create space at this point. She has the Midas to kind of come in and farm where she's needed. Oh, is Clock going to spot him out? Yeah, he spots out the Spirit Breaker. He's going to get him in that cogs. And
yeah,
Spirit
but this
Breaker,
clock's going to die for this.
Yeah, he has
damage from the Venge.
Still. He still has charge. He still has. Oh, and the Earthshaker's all.
And they had, in the whole time, if Old Man got low at all, he just gets swapped out, and then he can charge back in to finish the kill.
Definitely.
So, see, and that's what I mean. Like, any 2 heroes, I don't think the clock or the Axe really presents a huge threat, unless there's like another 2 heroes there. You know, if you're outnumbered, you're obviously a kill can still happen. But this clock's been going for largely just just 2-man ganks, like going to a lane or going solo. So, like, if they just play to that and continue to farm their cores, they're TPing down the Sniper to push bot. I like this move. Sniper provides so much more than Medusa at this point in the game.
Yeah, and the charge is coming out. He may be able to.
He needs to cancel this.
Oh, he's canceling really far in there.
He is so
there.
deep now.
He smacks him up, swaps him back.
Swap.
They're going to get a lot of damage onto him, calling the target. They get a shrapnel up on top of him. He gets shallow graved, but Axe is sitting right next to him. Blinks away. Sniper's walking away from this as well. They are able to kill the clock in the backlines though. Mr. Blue does a smackdown, but that Mystic Snake is going to take care of him, and then the Sniper does a little poke of his own. They're coming back in with Venge here. They may try to re-engage once again. Lena's going to be trying to chase down the Spirit Breaker though. They get a stun out onto the Medusa. Sniper gets some poke damage. He's going to be charging once again. Cancels the charge because he realizes it's a little too greedy. And both teams have gone back at this point.
So, how did that fight end up? It was pretty long and scattered. Like, Spirit Breaker did end up killing the CM in the backlines. So I feel like it ends up being probably the Radiant's advantage in the end. Because they did kill that Lena.
Yeah. They got the Lena. They got three people. Oh, watch out. The blows up the Crystal Maiden. Tries to ult down the Spirit Breaker, but he is going to be graved up. They call everyone on Axe. The Dazzle's going to be going down, and Sniper is going to be going down next with him with the tick going down. They also pick off the Spirit Breaker at that point. Not worth it.
Yeah, they're just diving too far. This Spirit Breaker is pulling them into these bad fights.
Oh, they call this a Vengeful Spirit, and he's going to be blasted up. They try to get a stun off. They do successfully get a stun, knock him down with the Axe chopping his head off.
So that was the second 2 fights in a row. I think the Spirit Breaker. Yeah, he set up a kills on these CM, but he pulls them.
So the in trouble up here, up at top. But the Snake's gonna go out and hit him a couple times.
Clockwork's there.
Clockwork's right there. He smacks him once or twice, gets an urn for safekeeping, and takes him out.
Yeah. So Spirit Breaker dived both times way past the tier 2 and kind of baited his own team into these scattered team fights. The first time it ended up being to their advantage just because the Venge and Sniper kind of stayed as a unit and didn't eat tower shots. But then but it was still a relatively even fight. And the second time it was just disastrous. They ended up diving the tower with no creep wave. Sniper was pretty much, and Venge were pretty much just killed by the tower, and then like the other heroes came in to confirm the kills. Like the tower just hit the Sniper like 5-6 times. You can't take that sort of damage.
Yeah, and now the net worth is they do get a kill at bottom once again. He tries to get a swap and taking him down, gets the armor locked down on him as well. He's able to get a quick kill, killing out the Axe by taking out his armor. I mean, taking out the main part of the hero. So.
Yeah. What do you think about this core Venge build? He maxed the aura stun. I'm not a huge fan of this. I feel like the Wave of Terror is what you max.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people who really hate the low level of stun that's available for Magic Missile, but I'm more of a proponent.
It's the damage.
I'm more of a proponent of if you're doing well, you can get more in Wave of Terror and Vengeful Aura. I don't know. I think it's better to do a lot more in them. Like, yes, it's nice to have the CC, but when you have Spirit Breaker, and you have a Spirit Breaker who's made of stun, and Earthshaker who's made of stun, and you still have Shrapnel doing its damage, and Swap, I don't really think you need the extra seconds. And yeah, it's nice to have that damage, but your right clicks are going to do more very, very quickly by having the Wave of Terror up.
See, I kind of go for the opposite, where it's Wave of Terror and Magic Missile with just value aura, because this 75 damage per skill point is an amazing return, and then because your stats are relatively low early on, like the percentage of the aura doesn't play.
Mr. Blue here, cog him up, put him into this position. He's not going to be able to cast.
But he's going to die for us though.
And Sniper's going to be able to poke him down a little bit. He can't do much because he has a blade mail. And there's going to be a charge out onto the Lena, trying to take her out. Getting 2 stuns here. Oh, nope, just getting the 1. Able to get him into a decent position, though. Gets an ultimate. Not able to do too much. Gets a heal up. Trying to go onto the shrine. Gets the shrine up, and he's going to be perfectly fine.
Dreams is really out on his own here. They saw him briefly in the creep wave. Doesn't look like they're rocketing to get him.
Yeah,
he spends his stun when the 4 heroes are bearing down on him. That's some ballsy farming right there.
And they may catch him out. Nope, they got Dazzle in the neighborhood as well. Oh, but they...
Oh, they spot him now. Dueling wards.
Yeah.
That ward tells me they want to fight over it, though.
That's true. I don't think that that's the move, but it's they may try, and they do.
They have a blink echo.
They stun him out again with a charge going by. Get a swap on him as well. They get a stun over on that Medusa.
Oh, his blink
comes
got
out, but he's got
canceled.
blinks. He gets canceled. He gets stunned out. The ultimate is committed from. Oh wow, everyone, but really doesn't do anything on the Crystal Maiden at least. The tick's going to come down on the Axe, probably killing her. The ult is committed on the Medusa. Axe is stunned out at this point. They're going to get an ult. Sniper's going to ult him down. He's dead. And it is a 4-for-1 trade at this point.
So did you see what happened?
I did for a second there, but I kind of, my mouse screwed up and like dropped down to the left.
So CM got that ult off, but so they all got offensively weaved, so their armor's dropping. But then the fight got kind of disengaged, so that weave ticked down. Then CM used that ult. That's what canceled Mr. Blue's blink. So that fight would have probably been a 5-for-1 if he gets that off. So it did cancel his blink, but then she ulted in tower vision with weave on her, so the tower killed her in 3 shots. So CM just died to the tower while she was ulting, and then they just got stunned out by Earthshaker, and Sniper was free just to pull all this damage in. What
canceled Mr. Blue's ult?
The CM ult. He got hit by a very RNG. The first tick of the CM ult hit him, and that's what canceled his blink.
Oh wow, crazy! Yeah, crazy.
He was very unlucky. That would have been such a big team. Like it was already a 4-for-1. It would have been even worse had he gotten off a 3-man echo. But in the end, still huge. And now he's got his 4-staff up, so he cannot be solo killed. That fight gave him his 4-staff, which is so huge. So now he cannot be solo killed quite so easily by the clock. Like if Lena's there or Axe is there, you can definitely do it, but none of this solo stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And Dazzle's close to his 4-staff. Sniper has his Hurricane Pike completed, and also completed a Hurricane Pike on the Venge. So this Clockwork, who's really been carrying them in these fights, in these picks, all of a sudden, pretty soon, every hero on their team, except for Spearpricker, is going to have a 4-staff. Offensive weave onto Axe in the mid.
Oh, Axe mid. Okay, dropping down. He's getting pretty low here. He commits the... oh, wow. The tick's going to be real. Taking him down bit by bit, but the ultimate's committed by Medusa. Getting out the ray, trying to keep him alive. The Spearbreaker is alive for now. Mr. Blue's going to say, heck, I'm out of here. And Sniper's going to 4-staff away. So really it's only a 2-for-1 at this point. And it's only 2 supports. Johnny's maybe looking for something. Johnny Magic trying to go in.
He already missed his hook shot, though. He missed that early in the fight. And Mr. Blue cleaned up that Axe. He just casually, as he went away with like 10 HP after the urn. So yeah, kind of interesting stasis point for this game. Yeah. The Venge is still the top net worth, which is doing quite well.
Yeah, and like even when I said earlier she might want to change into her farm, I kind of misspoke because she had the most net worth at that time. Like
she just died 3 times in a row really quickly, but she's been able to keep farming. She keeps using Magic Missile to farm on the Black Dragon where it did like no damage.
Well, what's interesting here to me, Faf, is that has a lot less last hits. She actually only has 139, and she's that much ahead on net worth.
Over who?
Over pretty much all the cores. Like if you look at all the other cores on the last hits denies.
The Midas.
It is the Midas, but we also have a Midas on Clockwork, and I mean, is it that big of a deal? Well, like that's huge. How big of a...
Well, Clockwork has all these kills, but all those kills were early, which wasn't very much. So he didn't get a ton of gold. He was the high net worth, and he only has 58 less hits. Yeah.
They miss up on the Earthshaker. The Earthshaker has some ticking down damage, but his Axe is going down himself. The swap comes out on the CM. He's going to be going down. Axe is going down from the right clicks of the Sniper. And we have Clockwork taking out the Earthshaker. Didn't commit the hook shot, just ran him down.
Oh, if they get vision, though, they can charge him down.
They can,
there's
for
nobody
sure.
There's nobody with the Dazzle. Yeah, if Venge or Sniper had been closer.
Sniper TP's top. He's going to be ulted by the Medusa, and Medusa's just going to take this tower pretty easily.
She's going to die for this, though.
Yeah, she's definitely going to die. The ult comes out.
That's not worth it.
The charge comes out. She's going to be getting knocked down and poked down to death. Meanwhile, the hookshot is real,
Oh,
and
no!
he committed the force staff before it was needed to be used.
Way
and now he
before.
just gets away, and he's going to be chased down by this Clockwork, getting poked not once but twice.
That is a huge misplay by the Venge. He like panic force staffed after the clock force staff to try to set up a hook or set up a cogs, but he just needed to keep running. But no, I was gonna say like Clock has the Midas, but Clock has 100 last hits, and all of his kills were early, so that gold isn't as big. Like, and then he's just had this Midas, and he did get it first, and he did get it like at 10 minutes. So it's you know, that's why he's able to stay relevant. That's why I like Midas. I think force staff first would have been better. But like when you're staying even and you went for the greedy play, like and you managed to stay in the game, like you're fine. Like, worked out. And there's a sad trombone, which I'm sure is the response to when how Venge force staffed early and is complaining about how he sucks. Because that's the sort of play I do, and I'm like, oh, I'm so bad at this game.
That's okay though. Hopefully the teammates won't troll too hard and they can get back into this because they still are very.
I hope they troll as hard as they can on this anyway.
Oh man, the unforgiving Faf, obviously. He's gonna take it out on you pretty hard. Who was it? Dreams. He's gonna take it hard out on you. We got also, so looking at this draft and looking at where it's going into, it's kind of going later and later into this draft. Do you think that Medusa is going to be enough for late game? They do have a sniper on the other side that's pretty decent.
Not against the sniper. Not unless she gets ahead, and sniper's 3k up, and her build is not really. I just don't see her being able to get ahead. Any sort of game state where she's ahead, it's because they're already winning these fights, and it's just tricky. I think late game in the end.
Looks like they're going to be trying to go for a kill here. They jump in, they try to get the ultimate here. They got her stunned out.
Oh, he's got
really
the Echo now.
Echo. She did not realize getting in that cyclone was going to be her ultimate death.
Yeah, that's one of those where you have to offensively, you have to cyclone the guy chasing you, not the. It just sets you up for the kill. I think in the end,
they're going to go for Roche.
Late game, it just favors the Radiant simply because of the sheer potential of Echo Slam. Because Axwell is very good. There are a lot of ways to deal with the Axe, and then Clockwork falls off a lot. And Lena can scale, especially since she did go the 50 damage talent. But I feel like she's got this Yule. She like, because she didn't get the Bloodstone early, which I agree with. Like, she's just a long.
Oh, the ultimate is committed. He's going to be able to stun him out. No, he gets the three-man axe call, and he is able to block it on Mr. Blue. The ultimate is committed on Medusa, being able to stun some people out. Dreams is going to come straight back up. They're going to be trying to chase down this Crystal Maiden. They get her. But Axe is going to call two once again, get Dreams and Old Man Mango right in the mix of it. He's going to ult, try to lock down this Medusa, trying to run away. Maybe he's able to. No, I think he's probably going to be taken out. Nope. Maybe. Nope, he's running away. Alright, so Dreams is going to be getting chased down, though, here, and tries to do a juke, but is not able to get that last hit available. The charge comes out from Spirit Breaker. He's going to be able to get away. The only one that's able to survive is Mr. Blue with that Shadow Blade.
Yeah. So, it just shows I think they were a little over-eager. They just couldn't quite do it fast enough. And this is where I'd really like to see... I think obviously you need a Hurricane Pike, but I think if they're gonna get this, they just need a medallion on someone if you're gonna take Roche. And I think Venge picking up a Solar Crest would be much better than this SNY. Just the potential of Solar Cresting whoever's getting gone on and Roche makes it really worth it.
Honestly, Dazzle wouldn't be too bad of a pick either, but
yeah,
he's not gonna be able to get it up in time.
See, that's the thing. It's Dazzle in a normal game. Yeah, Dazzle can go first item medallion, but like I think Force Staff is just the play he has to make, because if he looks at a fight, like the way they lose the fight is if he gets called or he gets cogsed up, and so like Force Staff is your solution to that. Like you can play further back with Force Staff, and you can get out of Clock's cogs in that. So Spirit Breaker also could pick up a medallion. I don't like the Echo on Spirit Breaker at all. I'm not sure what item I'd prefer instead. What do you think? I just don't feel like Echo is a good item on a support Spirit Breaker for the most part.
Honestly, there's a lot of different things that I.
Yeah, he should have the Solar Crest, right? Like, if you have enough money for an Echo, you should get the Solar Crest.
Honestly, that's the one that I generally like to see is Solar Crest on him, but there's oh wow, the smoke's gonna break. They're gonna take out the CM. The swap's even completed at
That's
this
not
point.
who they wanted, though.
Yep.
They wanted any other hero. Most of all, they wanted this Lina fresh Bloodstone that's just begging. Anytime you get a Bloodstone, you're just oh, they charged the illusion.
Yeah, they didn't really consider that she had those illusions popped. And
Well, I think she got out of vision of the creep wave and then sent the illusion forward. So you charged what they could see.
this Medusa's farming in really risky territory, getting away with it. Too,
Yeah.
actually. We got.
But they're
Clockwork's
so
gonna be
split.
TPing back.
Can they defend this?
They can. They have a Ag Scepter on Clockwork, so he can initiate from really far away. They're going
Nice
to do
defensive
a
weave.
defensive weave. Axe is going to get
Only in
call
one
on
man
Earthshaker. Not really the one that you want to get. He's also going to be able to.
Oh, look at that
three
three-man charge.
3-man charge is available. They're also going to get the alt 3-man Echo alt on top of that. The
They're all
magic
in
damage is
shrapnel.
crazy good on Axe. They're going to be trying to take down the Spearbreaker with all the spell damage. He's going to be able to ult the Lina in the back. They hook out, hopefully trying to get away, but the ult comes out from Sniper. He's going to go down as well. Lena's going to get the charge up, so she's going to be okay, but it's going to be a 3 for 2, 3 for 1 Faf.
Wow, what a charge. It was nice positioning. They got the offensive weave, and then they were all split, so Axe could not get a two-man call. He goes for the one-man call, getting what he can, and then that charge just stunned out 3 heroes, set up a nice 3-man Echo, and then he got off his ult even, just to further zone out Lina. That was just a fight-winning charge. Really great play. And that's where I guess the Echo ends up working out because he's very tanky then. And this is kind of why I'd really like him next item to get a BKB, just to make sure that his charge is going off no matter what. Because just the way these fights are playing out, you can see he can just charge the CM or the Lina, and they're usually all the way in the back. And so he'll disrupt 2 or 3 heroes and just allow his team to fight as they want. And they're going straight high ground.
And on at this point, if she has a swap, she could have swapped the Lina right into the ultimate and just took her out. But that's okay. They're wanting to just get some tower damage, exist for a little bit, and just move back. It's finally starting to look in their favor now, Faf. They have over. They're just starting to get over the Dire at this point. The gold graft is looking good for them. It hasn't actually shown yet, but on the actual little new thing up here, it's showing that they're ahead once again.
Yeah, and the big thing is hold on one sec. Yes?
I'm talking to guys.
Okay. The big thing is that now with the Shadow Blade, it's going to be very hard for, as long as they fight around Echo, it's very hard for them to engage into a fight because and not give Mr. Blue an opportunity to Echo. And that just makes it so hard for them to fight unless they catch and get a pick off. That's why I kind of like this Lina. She's gone for this very farm-heavy build of Bloodstone, Boots of Travel, but I feel like maybe the Shadow Blade's the build you need to go. Like, you know, Medusa's the one who's going to be pushing out waves, and they need to find pickoffs, and Clockwork had been doing this, but now with all these 4-staffs and items on them, like he can't really fulfill that role. Lina's the only hero that can truly stun out and just delete a hero at this point.
And that's the inherent problem with the Clockwork. If you don't win by 30 minutes, you're pretty much just a stun. That's all you're really available to do in a team fight. And you can do the whole blade mail trick and get people to hit you, but once they start getting items themselves and it's an even game, then your hero just starts becoming a little lackluster over time.
Well, the other thing I'd like to see, what reason I'd like to see the Shadow Blade on the Lina is so the second the fight starts, he can Shadow Blade up and just wait for the Spirit Breaker to commit a charge. Because it seems like the Spirit Breaker is just trying to charge the Lina, ideally, and then if they can't get the Lina, he goes after the CM. And usually the Lina and the CM are positioned in the back kind of together, because that's where you should be as a squishy hero. And if you are able to Shadow Blade and just force him to commit a charge on someone else, then at that point, she's kind of free to deal her damage. Because she just keeps getting controlled up in these fights, either by the Earthshaker or the Spirit Breaker. And if she doesn't deal out her damage, they don't have enough damage to win these fights.
Yeah, most definitely. And really, the Medusa's starting to get something. I'm pretty sure she's going for the availability of getting a Scotty, which will make her a little bit tanky, but she really doesn't have that much tank to her right now. So really, their 2 tanks are their Axe and their Clockwork. And oh wow, they're able to find the Axe. They get all of these stuns out. They're able to keep them locked down. under the shrapnel. Now Lena's going to go down. She's going to
She's
commit
the
the
suicide.
Bloodstone suicide. So she's going to be coming up here pretty soon.
There's no buyback on that axe, though. That's a Lena Rax, right?
Should be a Lena Rax for sure. They still have Medusa
well,
also. They can
fight 4v5. They can win a fight without an axe if they get a good stone gaze and a good hook.
It's pretty hard though. Axe has been doing quite a bit of damage in this, and they could easily get this tier 4. Okay, I was gonna say, they didn't get the tier 4 at that point. They've got some reason. I'm not really sure why.
I think they smoked to back off to try to bait them to come out. I'm not sure. They're gonna head straight to the shrine and just. Yeah, I think they're just going to be methodical about it. Okay, let's get the shrines now. We can get the remaining tier 2s.
Oh, but they're going to catch out. Yeah, he's going to hit him a couple times. Say, get out of here, buddy. And then he dodges the hook.
Oh, he dodged the hook.
Oh, wow. And the stun comes out. If they see him, nope, they weren't able to catch him, but it was pretty close.
Got away with oh, the Medusa walks forward, though.
She's going to be in a tricky situation.
Oh, look at Mr. Blue.
Ultimate, though. Mr. Blue is going to get the stun out, get that echo. He's going to get stunned up by the stone gaze, though, and he gets slashed by that magic. Jeez. All this is coming out. They got the Medusa killing all these different people, hitting everyone from everywhere. The electricity damage is just too much for most of their team. They're able to keep... Oh, wow. The dodge once again from Spirit Breaker. The 2 dodges on the hooks. Able to keep him alive. No one is lost when there were so many heroes that were really low.
Did you see what happened with the Laguna Blade?
I saw him Laguna Blade the Earthshaker.
He was stone formed. He was stone formed. That's why he didn't die.
Oh.
He got Laguna Blade at half HP because Medusa was chunking him with all that bonus physical damage, and Laguna Blade got committed right before Stormform went off, and so he didn't die. He just kind of pushed himself.
The Axe gets a 2-man, 3-man call.
Oh wow, they can clean them all up.
They clean up 1 guy. They're gonna try to go for 2, but Sniper may be away. The slow is gonna be coming out. If Axe gets a jump here, he can get him. But oh man, 1 second off, and gets TP'd out there. Is Mr. Blue gonna be able to get out though? He should. His TP's up off cooldown.
He's just farming.
He commits the mana.
He's fine.
Oh man, this is
fine.
So risky.
He's just gonna farm this creep wave now. He's fine.
Lena's able to bottle up a regen rune, so that's gonna be
nice but she had 2 quick deaths there, and that's 5 bloodstones. She went from 12 to 5 so quick.
Ooh, that's rough. Oh, and Clock's looking for some. He's thinking about going in on Mr. Blue. Mr. Blue.
This is where the aggression of a Clock Clerk can cost his team. If he baits them into a fight that doesn't go perfectly, they've committed all their buybacks, and that Lena's Bloodstone's there. If they lose a fight, they could just end the game with Venge and Sniper, potentially.
It is now minute 40, and there's the new runes coming up here. So we have runes on both sides of the map able to be picked up. So it adds a little new element into the game. Always a guaranteed thing if you try to fight around one side of the map.
Well, it just gives the fact that overall I think Radiant has more control. It just means they have more chance to grab runes, and if you get a DD on a Sniper or a Venge, they will just shred enemy heroes so fast. Even if you're a Dusa. Yeah, I will be right back.
Okay, that's fine. I'll keep talking.
Sorry.
It's all good. Blade Mail is going to be picked up on Spearbreaker at this point. It's decent pickup. Not something that we would like to see at this point. Obviously, the BKB, for what Faf said before, is pretty strong. The charge is committed here, and the Sniper ult is as well. So on this Clockwork, it is not probably the best to go in at this point, though. And they are going to be getting out this Venge. They can pick her up, put her into her place by that Lightning Strike array. They're getting a lot of right clicks off, but looks like she's going to be fine overall. She commits a swap for no real reason when she's safe, but that's okay. Whatever you can do to keep yourself safe. And they're going to be going in on this Lena and trying to get this last hit in. Oh, she does a perfect save for herself. Gets off a stun. And the Axe is going to be giving a call, calling the Sniper in the back line. He's going to be able to be taken out. 4-staffed away. Is he going to be able to 4-staff again? 4-staff. Jeez, all these 4-staffs. And we got Medusa ult being committed, taking out the Sniper. They have to run away. In the back line, though, they're going to be able to smack down this Lena. And there's a pause caused out by the Sniper. He got dropped in that middle of that team fight. Not very good. And it looks like they're going to be coming back here in a little bit. Two people very out of position. We have Venge kind of going out. We have Axe and Clockwork still here, but they aren't really able to commit too much. We got we got some friendly banter back and forth. Looks like it's all in good fun though. We got Blink Dagger on Axe coming up in 3 seconds. Maybe Dreams will be able to get away. His Force Staff is not going to be up in time, but Dazzle's in a heck of a position here by Medusa, and the Clock Hook gets blocked by Axe, not able to move. Oh man, he pushes himself out of the call, so he's able to get away at this point, but Hook is going to be coming up once again. He's going to try to go for the hook on the... Oh wow, Venge is able to swap out. And is she going to get the push staff away? Is she going to be able to? Oh man, they come up right there. They're able to get the back lines. They are able to kill the Crystal Maiden. All the same while this Axe is taking a lot of damage. They are able to commit back on the back line though and get that Spirit Breaker. Axe is able to come back in. We got Dazzle dodging away from the Axe call, and it's going to be kind of a done team fight, but they do have the potential of pushing on this tower here. So they're getting some chip damage at this point. Sniper's able to they commit a fissure to stop him out a little bit.
They have a swap.
They do have a swap, but they're a little worried about this guy. They force staff him in, not really too successful. They have a lot that they can commit. They also Sniper's coming up here pretty soon. They're gonna just back off.
They repelled him off the tower. Like they got a little chip damage, but not a huge amount. For what was overall favorable fight for the Dire by all appearances.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy fight there in general.
Lena still though 3 Bloodstone charges. Oh man.
You can see the XP graph. It like actually has like a hook in the experience. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and Crystal Maiden goes down while I was looking at that. My apologies.
Yeah, it looks like she was just trying to get some Roche wards up and was punished immediately for it, and their ward just dewarded immediately. So,
yeah, and now
Roche is up.
Lena's down to 3 charges on her Bloodstone at this point.
Look at Mr. Blue, just providing vision for the charge. Oh, he comes on...
He comes out of Invis, though, at this point. And he gets a couple stuns out. The charge is still coming at this point. They're going to get a 2-man call once again to get it on that Sniper. He's going to be stunned out. The stun comes out, and once again, Sniper is able to force staff him across the other side. They're able to take up this Lena. They just keep teaming up on her 2-manning. And the Medusa's going to be stunned out. She gets an Echo Slam on top of her. They're going to be taking her out. Dreams is going to be stunned up, but the Axe can't get to her. He's going to be able to swap over top of it. He's going to try to go for the dunk, but the stun comes out from the charge. And now they're going to be able to keep him completely locked down. And Johnny Magic is going to be locked down as well. They get a 4-man for nothing.
5-man. They killed the CM at the start of that. Remember? That was the whole engagement started with the kid. They killed the CM D ward, and the Shadow Blade let them initiate. So it ends up being a 5 for nothing. And the whole key to that was they got a 2-man call, but then Sniper just pushes himself over the cliff, and then just shrapnels up, and then at that point from then on, he just right-clicked the entire fight. Nobody stopped him. Meanwhile, the Dire side, Lena gets stunned out, Medusa gets stunned out by all the stun. So Sniper can just deliver all the damage in the world, and Dreams is pressured by the Axe, but when you don't pressure a Sniper in a fight, you're just not going to win it. Like, the Sniper just punches you to death. Especially with this Scotty.
Well, that's the thing, though, Faf. They were able to force staff him away. They have so many force staffs now.
They're going for the win.
Oh, they're going for it. Yep, you're right. And Medusa doesn't
They're going to get it. Neither does Axe.
They have no way to initiate. They can just sit in the back, and if they are committed at all, this Lena hasn't gotten any farm since, I feel like it's been
Dazzle
like 20
can
minutes.
save. Yeah.
And the charge comes up once again, gets that stun actually off, and is able to get a lot there. This stun comes out from Mr. Blue, smacks her down real quick. They're all gone. This is a good game. And the second game goes to the, what is it? Team No TP.
Yep, Team No TP. And this is what I was saying, like, Mr. Blue's very confident in his ability to make plays and carry a game on Earthshaker. And I think he felt like there wasn't any making that first game, because you watched it. They had this group team-up strategy, and everyone kind of played like a pub, and he's on an Abaddon, so he just kind of ran at people trying to pressure them, and that's not really going to be successful. You just give Spectre time space. Now with Earthshaker, he gets a Shadow Blade, he can be hyper aggressive, he can give vision for the Spirit Breaker, who's another aggressive hero that he picked up for this draft, and they were able to kind of capitalize on that aggression to play a bit more of less of a disciplined 5-man gamey and more of a run at their faces draft.
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, I feel that in this game it was kind of to go on the same point that you're talking about right now. The Abaddon doesn't really, like, you can say, hey, go in, but if you don't have a player on your team that's like a very confident initiator, you can be that guy that's creating all this space, but they see your health like dipping and diving, and they're like, we don't know the right time to really go in. And on Earthshaker, if you set up the stun, it's like, okay, these guys are stunned out. I feel that comfort level to jump in from that point. So maybe it's more of the team depends on him as a initiator, and that was kind of the problem with the first draft. And I think they proved themselves a very competent team this second game. They looked very, very strong. They had the force staffs were up correctly. They were able to force everyone away. There were some really good swap plays at the end, being able to stay alive. Like when you actually got up and left, Venge was able to stay alive versus Axe and Clock being able to survive for the entire time during a fight, and ran all the way back from past River to her base to able to dodge her the hooks twice and 2 calls by using her force app correctly and just moving correctly. It's very, very impressive. So, I mean, they definitely deserve this second win. It's very, very strong. And that we should probably wrap it up. Do you want to do your call and then I'll do my call?
Yeah, if you like the cast, I have my Twitter's at Fafnir Dota. I'm setting up, changing my YouTube to actually have Fafnir up so I can throw my cast up there. So if I've cast a game of yours, I'll get it up there so you can watch it even after Twitch pulls it down from the recent broadcasts. And you can see me on Twitch at Fafnir18. And then also sometimes on Toffee's, depending on which Twitch channel, since Toffee's Austin has his own CSL or other games that he'll put on here, so it kind of depends on where Flubb and my's casts will be based on whether this channel is busy or not.
Yes, most definitely. So if you're ever wanting to find out any of the casts that me and Fafnir do, and I'm going to be when I'm the one who's hosting the camera, most of the time it's going to be on this channel, and we will have that at twitch.tv/Toffees_Dota2. If you want to, you can go to our YouTube channel at 5 Gaming. If you want to, you can always follow me at FlubbDota. And on any of those places, you can also, I got some shows on there if you're ever interested. Also, Toffees has a couple shows that he does. If you're probably watching this, you probably already know that. He is more famous than I am, so I'm just the guy that's filling in on what I can do, you know. But if you have anything you're interested in, you can follow me at any of those places. And if you want to, you can send me an email to cast any game of yours by going to crazyflubb@gmail.com. Alright guys, thanks for letting us do this today, and I hope that you enjoyed our cast. We'll catch you later.
Have a good night.